Hello, I'm ABX Toycat, and welcome back to another live stream on the internet. Today, I figured, you know what I want to do? I want to grab myself some Netherrack, and I want to cover a mountain in it. But where would I get the Netherrack from? It's a shame I just have such a short supply of Netherrack otherwise, as I'm sure you can tell. And that's why in today's video, I'm going to be making use of this Netherrack and... You know, actually, let's go look at the mountain at night too. Today we're going to be taking this Netherrack over to the dark night of the world. And we're going to be covering a mountain entirely. Because I feel like, you know what? I need some nether in my overworld. It's something I'm lacking. I have nether in my end. I have overworld in my nether. I have overworld in my end. But where is the nether in my overworld? It's just missing. It's just one of the great shames of my life. And that's a shame we're going to be fixing today. Because this mountain over here, as you can see, it's kind of boring. Like, the truth be told, extreme hills that generated, even going up to like right now. Like if you're not playing with amplified on, extreme hills are just sad to look at. Any biome besides like the Savannah mountain doesn't have a good mountain going on. So this mountain, which is a great enough shape but just boring in consistency, takes the desert, or as it is now the Torch Desert, over to the big flat plains. And it's ugly, it's boring. What if it was exciting? What if perhaps it was covered in some Netherrack? And it's actually bright enough that I don't think I even need to sleep. Like, I should probably light up the area that I'm going to be, torching down with. But, yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing in today's video. Placing down a bunch of Netherrack. It's actually weird that it looks like daylight everywhere but here. Like, as soon as we leave this area, it's hard to be, like, unless you look at the sky, I guess. It's hard to be sure that it's even not daylight at all. And that is a freaky fact about this. Anyway, so we're going to start over here. This seems like a good place as any. And going to place down our Netherrack box. Grab some Netherrack out. And there's blackstone in here too, it seems. And then we'll go to sleep and deal with this. Just in case, you know, there's a spider spawning. I don't like spiders. I don't want to be snuck off on by a creeper. Because one of the things about Netherrack is it's a great block in lots of ways. But it does have really... Oh, there's no bed over here. Oh, there's one in the village, sure. Netherrack's a really great block in so many ways. But it has one of the weakest blast resistances, which is kind of on purpose. So if you do want to build outfit, just know creepers will wreck it. But that's mostly fine. I mean... That's that's part of the point, is that you place Netherrack with the intention of it being exploded. So, thank you very much, Jack Cuff. Thank you for a chill stream. Hope you're having a nice day. Drink water, please. You better believe I'm always drinking more than the necessary amount of water, because Toycat is sponsored by water. That's right. Have you noticed how your taps have an unlimited support? Like, think about any other need. Like, hey, I'm here with a confusing currency donation. What are your opinions about dogs, by the way? I like dogs. I am a big fan. I can assume you are too, dog girl. But no, thank you very much for the South African rand. I'm going to South Africa in the nearest future, and I'll use those rand. I mean, it won't actually work that way. The way it works is the South African rand gets to me in the form of Great British pounds, and then later I'll convert that back in. But like, basically, you give me rand that I can use for the South Africa. South Africa. That's where I'm from, yeah. I got a really good South African accent because I learned how to shift fills. Did I do good? Did I do good? I guess only you can tell me if you're from South Africa. You know what, chat? No telling me my accents are bad. I do enough bad accents already without you telling me that this one sucks too. So, yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be doing a survive project. And the best bit about these is, like, it's an opportunity to chill, play some Minecraft, to talk about some stuff. Because, you know what? Isn't that what life is all about, really? If you're not doing those three things in life, I don't think you have a good life going on, if I'm being entirely honest with you. So, yeah, every time we should place a torch, we're going to try to do that. It's going to be kind of tricky as we go up the mountain, but... We'll see what we're doing. And yeah, you can see how, like, it's like a Netherrack corruption. It's going to slowly just expand right now. It's just like, oh, looks like a ruined portal. Enderboss25 says your accents are delightful. That's a terrible South African accent, says Tugul25. Oh, it's all about the shifted vowels, yeah. It's South Africans, I don't actually know. I guess the South African accent's like a weird mix of, like, Dutch, a few native languages, and then, like, English from the other side of the world. Like, every now and then, like, South African people sound Australian and vice versa. I'm from South Africa, and you sound nothing like it, says Dylan Rosa. I said that so well. So, yeah, I've been looking at houses. Oh, I need to remove this and then place it again. You know, it's really hard to work out when you're done placing blocks on something. How will we know when you've gone legitimately insane, says General Kenobi. You know what, the cool thing about... I've always wondered, like, you know, a lot of things that we consider insane... Like, depending on what... Like, let's put it this way, right? If a homeless person says the same thing as, like, you know, a billionaire, the homeless person is crazy and, like, you know, criminally insane. The billionaire is just eccentric, right? You know, think about how we describe, like, particularly rich people as just being like, oh, it's just an eccentric man. Like, I think that's so interesting. Like, how could you not find that fascinating? So, yeah, like, as a result, all I have to do is not lose enough money, which is why your super chats are funding my insanity, not being called insanity. Thank you very much. South Africa's Dutch, Scottish, Irish, and Australian. Is there a heavy Australian presence in South Africa, or are you just saying, like, it sounds like it is? Honestly, South Africa is one of those places, like, I know the fairly recent history because it's already so deep and complex, but, like, the long-term history is just, like, so like, because almost, like, there's very few colonies that end up being so, I guess, both successful, but also, like, controversial and strange by themselves. I know, it's interesting. Netherrack is so ugly, says Stick Master K. I think Netherrack is deliberately ugly. Like, and the cool thing about it is it's ugly when you look it up close, but the further away you get from it, the prettier it looks. So, for instance, Netherrack looking ugly. Netherrack kind of looking ugly. Netherrack, oh, it's just a red block. Super chats fund your eccentricity, said Infinite Theorist. Exactly, that's what I meant. If you're funding my eccentricity. Wait, what is that name? Let me make sure I read that correctly. Akul Jedi. Hello, Toy Cat from Ireland. Hello, Akul, all the way from Ireland. I've got a thing for you, chat. How long do you have to live somewhere before it's living somewhere and not being on a vacation? Because I never call what I do vacationing. It's always like I'm either traveling somewhere or I'm living somewhere. But like, you know, societally, how long do you think you have to be somewhere before it's like? Because, you know, when I go to the store, I don't live at the store, right? When I go to my friend's house, I'm not living at my friend's house. If I sleep on his sofa, I'm not living at my friend's house. But at some point, after, you know, being there long enough, I am living at my friend's house. When does that point happen, in your opinion? Hey, IBX Cat, hope you're having a great day. How have you managed to hold on to one world for all these years? I have a new world every few months, lol, says GMD Legend 27. The thing is like, everything you'd want to do in a new world, you can just do in a different part of your existing world. That's the reason, like I do to some extent understand that, like, you know, some people like fresh and new all the time. Like, it's a built-in part of humans that we like to try, you know, we like to find a new thing, and like, especially with, like, when it comes to Minecraft worlds, sure, that's a thing. But I also think at the same time, it's like, Minecraft is a game, if you want to have the same world, which I admit most people, not everyone does, but if you want to have the same world, it's just like, okay, if you have a project that you think requires a new world, just go somewhere else. When I built those ice islands, I just went to a different part of this same world. And admittedly, my world size is now like 800 megabytes or something like that. I have to trim it down to fit it on the marketplace. But yeah, after you get comfy around their family, says Tenshi Senpai. So if I'm not comfortable around my girlfriend's family, even though we've been living together for 10 years, I'm not living there, I'm just... See, right? It's wacky. 2 months, I'd say, says Leaf Drum. More than 10 years. You know, see, right? You have to... If I live in an apartment for a year, I'm actually just staying there. What's the point? So, like, for instance, like, I want to rent a place temporarily in a different city in the UK so that I can go climbing every day, because there's no climbing gyms where I live. It's a tragedy. First ever donation, first Toy Attacks, and I asked my crush out today, and she said no. It says Parapy. See, you know what, Parapy? Every time someone does this, because you know what, having a crush is important. Wait, not having a crush is important. I think like dealing with it healthily is important. I think so much of the world is not dealing with their feelings, their emotions, and their wants in healthy ways. So, like, you know, good job on having a crush, and good job on knowing that the correct thing to do was to ask them out. But and like a lot, like, I want to use you as the example to anyone out there who is young. I'm not comfortable with my landlord. Do I have to pay them rent, says Jake? It's actually 2020 in most places. Like, this will affect you long term, but right now, like, paying rent is like semi-optional depending on where you live. Like, look into your local area. You might not have to. I know that you definitely probably are fine with paying rent, but you know, it's an option that is available. Again, it depends on your area and a lot of things, but it's fascinating. Hello, Toycat. I'm stuck on PlayStation 3 edition. Any project ideas? Build a wall around the outside of your world, and then in like a few years' time, when you get a PlayStation 4 or maybe 5, you can do that. Well done on being confident enough to ask. Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to try and say. Like, first of all, being confident enough to ask is like such a win. Now the next time you have a crush and want to ask them out, guess what? It's going to be great. I know that's not your immediate impression, and it probably shouldn't be. But like that's a big win. But like for anyone else out there, it's like, you know, the worst thing that happens if you ask someone out is they say no, and then like you're free, you're good. It's done now. Don't pay rent, go in debt. Exactly. If we all don't pay our rent, they can't collect it from us. No, there's a movement right now. Like it's the most confusing movement I've ever seen. But it's like if you want to save the planet, don't pay your rent or your mortgage. They're like, you know, all these people just think they can keep making money from us. Let's show them no. And it's like, okay. So on a wide level, like you actually can get certain concessions that way. I will admit, but on an individual level, if you like decide not to pay a mortgage or like I'm just not gonna pay back debt, it's like, what do you think happens then? What do you say though to ask them out? Oh, so actually, you know, as a 14-year-old, like I had no idea. As a like 16-year-old, even I was like, everyone's doing this, and I don't understand how. Because it seems like, what do? You just go like, would you like to be going out with me? And then they would become yours, but then it's like, so, but then how does that work? So, you know what, just in case someone out there is like, just as like socially not smart as I am, you ask them to do a thing that you would like to both do. And then you have gone out once, and then they might describe themselves
Making
as...
a mountain of wet meat. When you walk on the wet meat mountain, it sounds like wet meats. Wet meat mountain.
Oh no.
Squish, 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 squish.
What did I just listen to? I really don't know. Thank you so much, Fusion Warrior. But no, actually no. Thank me, Fusion Warrior. Why isn't that the real state of things today? So as you can see, the mountain. I like looking at the progress every now and then. I think this is good. I should have brought a bed with me though, so I'm gonna have to fly to one every time. But you know what? I'm pretty fly for a Minecraft guy. Lick them eyeballs, says Cat Beanie. Oh yeah, sorry. Okay, here's how you ask someone out. My apologies. I was using the joke version before. The real version is you go up to the person you care about. You say, hey, please can I lick your eyeballs? And they're gonna say, my eyeballs? You would like to lick them? And you're gonna say, yes, I would like to lick your eyeballs. And if they say no, then clearly they're not in this for the same reason you are. And then you know that they're just not the fit for you. The only time I've asked anyone out, he waited till we're in a room full of people to reject me. Never again. Wait, okay, that's such a power play. Like, ask, you know, be like, hey, would you like to go do a thing together? Wait, before I answer this, can you just get into a room with a bunch of people? You know, my friends, family, everyone like that. And you're like, okay. And then you just go, no, I will not go out with you in any form. How's your day going, IBX Snazzy Cat? My day's going good. Thank you for asking. I just went and got some Nando's for the you know, like Nando's British classic. So I went out to go get some of that. Was good. Was tasty. I would even go as far as to say. You know, one of the things about America I was worried about is when I came back, all food would taste bad, and definitely American food tastes better. But like there's food here that I can appreciate. I'm just gonna find more of it. Nari the Lucio says, I've been waiting so long to catch on stream to say I'm Irish, not Welsh. Wait, you're not Welsh? Oh, but you tipped, Nari. I'm so confused. Are you Welsh or are you not? Like, it's so confusing. I miss Nando's, says Cat Beanie. It's on delivery, fun fact. Although, like, paying for delivery on food...
My boss is South African and he sounds Scottish to me, but not as Scottish as my Scottish co-worker who I cannot understand. We need to grog toss over the weekend. Yes, we need to upgrade the server. Here is your allowance.
Okay, first of all, I enjoy that a lot. I enjoy Streamlabs trying to do a Scottish accent. That was one of my favorite things I've heard in a while. I want to see Streamlabs attempt all sorts of accents, honestly, like that. You know, see, that's why text-to-speech exists. Text-to-speech brings me great joy, and thank you for bringing me that great joy, Fuki. But you know, you're like, your job in, like, again, you explained you live in Texas, but also you're doing some form of, like, high-end IT work. And, like, I understand that, and I'm like, huh, that's like, those two things, like, first of all, I don't imagine them together. And now you're like, oh, yeah, I've got a Scottish co-worker and a South African co-worker as well. And it's like, what is this company? What? Like, I guess it's, like, fairly normal for, like, especially high-tech jobs to be very... international around the worldy, but it's still just, it's weird to picture it all in the same place. So, yeah, let's keep on going with this. I still don't even know where this, like, starts and ends fully. I'm just like, I'm netherracking the mountain, and I'll know I'm doing good when it's done. Do British people eat meat, says DogGirl51. I'm pretty sure we don't eat meat, no. No, I think we have one of the highest vegetarian populations. I think it might be London, not, like, the UK as a whole. I know, like, I'm always hearing, like, some weird statistic. I've never heard it locked down, so I don't know if I can trust it. But it's like London has the highest number of vegetarian restaurants in the world or something like that. Partially because, like, people are vegetarian for ethics or whatever. But also because there's a lot of, you know, people from India, a lot of Bangladesh people, Pakistan, etc., etc. Like, there's a lot of people from places that are just naturally vegetarian. Or places, or a lot of people in places where, like, milk isn't that common, like, animals are, like... You know, it's kind of weird, like, when you think about how big a... Because, you know, on, like, a primal level, like, animal being a big part of the diet makes sense. But it's weird that, like, almost every culture, or, like, a lot of the Western cultures, like, transferred it from there. And it's like, huh, I guess so. Like, the weirdest thing to me is, like, how meat is seen as, like, this luxury. And, like, I guess it can taste pretty good, but, like, most meat is garbage, but it's still expensive. Like, have you ever looked at the price just to buy a chicken? It's like, chicken is not tasty. It tastes like it exists. It's just, it tastes like there. And it's a whole thing. What do you mean the UK is fully vegan? It's illegal for any animals to exist, including dead ones. My bad, Milo Thomas. I can't believe I made the mistake of not knowing that. Okay, so there's got to be a torch on here somewhere, but I genuinely don't know where. Honestly, we should use lava as our light source for this mountain, right? How should we get lava in? Yeah, we'll use lava. I don't know how, but I think that's a great idea. If a British person eats meat, they get arrested, says Black for Dunks. Is there a meme that British people can't eat meat, or are we making this up right here, right? I genuinely don't know. Bacon is life, though. I brought some bacon for the first time yesterday. One of the things, you know, it's dumb, and I shouldn't be, like, tribalistic about it, but did you know bacon is different around the world? Chicken's not tasty. Chicken's not tasty unless you cover it in things that are tasty. Chicken is very easily made tasty by the things that are around it, but I don't think it's the tastiest meat. Like, it's perhaps the least tasty meat. It has the least of its own flavor. It just does a good job at taking other flavors. Like, fried chicken, delicious. But no, it's the fried that's delicious, and the chicken's just there. You know, like, oh, southern fried, oh, that's the same thing. You know, like, breaded chicken. Bread is delicious. Don't need to explain to me twice. Chicken burger. Burgers are delicious. I guess bread and meat go as well. Vegetable meat is nice. Northern countries needed to eat meat just to survive. It's not like there are many crops to grow in the cold wasteland. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense when you say it that way, actually. Whereas, like, you have more, like, you know, beans and stuff like that in Eastern and Southern cultures. That's an interesting point. Interesting point. I guess that explains why, like, when you picture, like, super cold places, they're, like, eating direwolf just to get by or whatever. Are you vegetarian? Please say yes. I'll say yes, not because it's true, but because I can. Yeah, now what? You forgot that people can lie in conversation. They can say whatever they want. And there's not even a downside. Yeah. What's going to stop me? I live in a mad world that makes no sense, huh? Oh, by the way, happy Streammas! It's the third day of Streammas, and Toycat gives to you another live stream on the internet. I've been working on a video today, and I'm excited about. I won't talk about it too much, but, like, me and one of the world record holders, who's been, like, speedrunning Minecraft, like, almost as long as me, we were, like, working together on, like, a history of Minecraft Bedrock speedrunning from, like, basically start to finish, to explain how the run went from, you know, 40 minutes long to 20 minutes long. 40 minutes to 20 minutes to 10 minutes to 4 minutes at the moment. Like, I broke a Minecraft record with a time of 48 minutes earlier this year, and now it's 4 minutes. It's, like, mind-blowing to me. Also, thank you very much for the CLP. Kogal says, hi, greetings from Chile. Just like in the UK, our food is brown grey, and we drink obscene quantities of tea. I want to say there's a really strong British influence on Chile. I still don't know why that is. Like, I know that, like, it's not a, you know, it's a former Spanish colony. But I know, like, Chile and the UK just have, like, really good relations. Also, I didn't know about the tea thing, but now I know. I've wanted to go for Chile forever, Kogel. So thank you for the Chilean pesos. Today I learned 2,500 Chilean pesos is a potential. Like, 2,500 Chilean pesos is, like, a normal amount of money to give. That, like, because you can tell from the Super Chat colors roughly how much money that is. So, like, that's within, like, the $2 to $10 range. Again, I can't tell you which of those ends it's on. But that's, I love currencies that are, like, that far removed. Because, like, sure, if you live there, it must be confusing to be like... Actually, no, if you live there, it's probably really easy. Like, oh, yeah, you know, buying a sandwich costs thousands of pesos. Buying a plane ticket costs hundreds of thousands. And buying a house costs millions. Actually, probably, like, tens of millions, right? Indonesia's another fascinating country where it's like they have so many money they just refer to it by the thousands. Like, oh yeah, 40 Indonesian rupiah is actually 41,000 Indonesian rupiah, and even when you divide it by 1,000, it still goes like 25 to 1 to the dollar. It's fascinating. Tea is better than coffee. Fight me, says Orangy. Okay, honestly, can I admit this to you, internet? I don't want to. There's gonna be a lot of hate because I know I'm British. We're big on tea as a country, but I don't like tea because it just tastes like hot water. And I know that's because, like, that's the first, second, last ingredient. 2,500 Chilean pesos, it's 2.47 pounds. Japan too. No, I like the yen because it, like, converts, like, to, like, cents really closely. Or, like, pence in the UK. So, like, if I see something's 100, I'm like, $1 or a pound, depending on what currency I'm, like, trying to convert to. You know, like, you get roughly the right place. Whereas when it's something weird, like, if 2,500, you know, if that converts to 227, that's like 100 something to the pound, like 1,000 something to the pound. You're not making tea right then. No, okay, you know, maybe that's what it is. Maybe I'm just not drinking tea correctly. You've got a good point there. Or, yes, tea is bad. Thank you, tea haters. Someone needs to say it. Someone needs to bring tea down from its high horse. All the tea I've ever had tastes like pine needles and water. Exactly, Rachel Ivan. It just tastes like, oh, someone puts, you know how, like, flavored water tastes like someone yelling the flavor of the water from the other room? Tea tastes like, oh yeah, at one point there was something in this water, and now there's not. And you might think, oh, that's hyperbole, Toy Cat. No, that's what tea is. You put something in water for a few minutes, and then it flavors water. Like, tea is flavored water before flavored water exists. Tea tastes like nothing, says Doggo. Exactly. You should try spicy tea. I would love to try spicy tea. I don't know what spicy tea would entail, but I would love to try it. I'm actually willing to take a drink. Oh man. By the way, so I went climbing yesterday, and all of my arms and my back hurt so bad. Like, I couldn't cut my food because clenching my fist hurts that bad. Even holding this bowl. Bear in mind, this is what, like 2 kilos or something, like 5 pounds. Oh look, it's transparent. You can see the green screen. You can see Minecraft through there. Ooh. Wait. There's a genius opportunity here for me to show you my face, but through a fishbowl. Okay, I'm just gonna drink my water. Orangy says, could you argue milk is white water? Oh, I 100% would argue milk is white water. Like, it annoys me that people think milk is a distinct flavor from water. Like, milk is just thick water. Even the thick bit, like, if you get, like, 1% water, easily amused, says Catfeeny. That, you know, easily amused means that you don't have to pay as much for entertainment. I'll give you that. Yeah, it's, all of my arms, Toy Cat the Octopus. I mean, you don't know where I keep my arms. No, I meant like arms are like lots of distinct muscles, right? Maybe. So I'm trying to say, like, not just because when you say your arm hurts, you think like here, right? You don't think here hurts or here hurts or here. I mean, like, every part of the upper part of my body is like killing me. And yeah, that's fun. Do you drink whole or skim? I drink skim milk because if it's all milk anyway, I'll take the milk that has the fewest calories. Side note, by the way, milk has, I could be wrong about this. I feel like milk has the same number of calories as ice cream. And have you tried ice cream and how good that is? It tastes like chocolate. What does milk taste like? Oh, it tastes like white water. That's what it tastes like. People who think there's even a comparison. Real milk has a distinct taste and smell. Maybe I've got like really different taste buds to people. When people say that, I'm like, are we drinking the same thing? Like, are you... Like, I know this isn't true, but this is the way my brain generally sees it. I'm like, it's a big scam society's playing, where we're, like, all trying to pretend that, like, milk genuinely has a flavor. We all know it doesn't, but if we all say it does, then, you know, then Big Milk gets to keep their money for a bit longer. Not working on me today, Big Milk. Not working on me today. So I'm gonna kill a few sheep so I can make a bed. Do I have wood on me? I do not have wood on me. We'll chop down some wood. It'll be easy. There's no trees in my world. That's the problem. And I don't want to chop down. I'm so used to playing speedruns that now I'm just like, oh, I need wood. I have it all in a chest somewhere, but I need to get it fast. I guess we could fly over to the chest. So chat, what do you think of my mountain so far? Do you think it's gonna be a fun project when it's done? Because I'm really liking this, like, so far. Because also this is my mountain that the big pathway comes out of, if I'm not mistaken. It used to be, at least. Where is that? Is it over here? Huh, where does the path go to? I have a big path going through my mountain. And I feel like it comes out here somewhere. Oh, here it is. So yeah, this is... I look swag. It's looking good. Thank you, DeGamer and GCM and Alexandra Obeska. Ooh, I spot a Russian person. Or maybe it could be anywhere in the Russian sphere, and you could have just had that name. But I'm gonna assume it is. Alexandra's like, is very Russian name, yes. Da. Wait, why yes? And I'm gonna learn accents one day. It's gonna be great. All of a sudden, I'm gonna be saying words and they're gonna sound like the words I'm saying. It's gonna be great. Okay, so I'm gonna chop down this tree over here. This one little sad tree. I need the wood, I'm sorry. Or we could chop down one piece of wood and set fire to the rest. That's the smart move right there. That's the smart move. Deal with that later. And that way we got enough wood for a bed if we make a crafting table. Do we have a crafting table anywhere nearby? I should create some more wood for a crafting table. Yeah, let's go do that. You know, let's be fast about it though. Let's make sure we're fast. Yeah, we need to get a crafting table in here. Oh, and it looks like I was too late. Oh no, there we go. Perfect. 2 wood. Nailed it. So yeah, we'll leave the rest of that be, and we'll go finish placing this netherrack. So why do you do this, Toy Cat? It's just the more efficient way to chop down a tree. Once you've gone to a certain level of Minecraft wealth, there's no point leaving a finished tree, so you might as well burn it all. That is my official proclamation. Okay, so let's go to bed. Easy enough to do, right? Just place a crafting table. We all know I need more crafting tables. Actually, I think there is a crafting table around here somewhere. Don't see a crafting table. Means I have to make one. Place down said crafting table. Should be easy. 1-hit KO. Oh, we can't 1-hit KO zombies. I always forget. And then we can make a white bed. Oh, we're sleeping in a white bed? No, we're not. No, we're not. You think I'm that poor, Minecraft? You think that lowly of me? I will not be sleeping in a white bed. You know, if this is a Netherrack bed, we should make it red, I guess, right? But no, not red either. Red feels too, you know, like red's a classic bed. Red's a wealthy bed. We're a laborer today. I guess we'll go with lime. Yeah, I think lime is a good fit because we're replacing the lime. So slowly we replace the bed. So take a lime dye, combine it with the bed. Thank God that I decided to switch that one out. And there we go. Now we got a lime bed, and I can finally sleep in peace. Oh, by the way, people who watch the streams who don't play Bedrock, one of my favorite dumb Bedrock exclusives is this. You can find, get this, you can find a zombie which has a baby zombie on its back. It's got a baby zombie jockey. They can pick up almost any mob. And the craziest bit is if we kill this zombie, which we can do in 1 hit, if I'm not mistaken, the baby zombie should be able to ride almost any other mob that it finds. So if we lead it over here, and then we find like a sheep or something, we should be able to get him on there. Because he's got the jockey. Oh no, no mining blocks for me. No mining blocks for me. But yeah, there's a sheep over there. I've never seen him ride a llama, actually. I think I've seen almost every other mob. But no llamas for me yet. So we're going to fly down here. We're going to torch this area up, which is suspiciously lacking torches right now. You know, it's just a dark spot. It doesn't seem safe. Got to get rid of that. We're going to keep the baby zombie following me. This is going to be great. And then we're going to go to sleep afterwards. One time I killed a daddy zombie and the baby zombie took over a sheep. Yeah, they have the, whatever the tag is that allows them to ride over animals. And they actively will go out of their way to do it too. Wait, where's the baby zombie? There he is, okay. They actively go out of their way to do it if they see it and it's like on their path. Or even close to it. It's like, here's a baby zombie. It could go after me. Oh, it's actually going after me. Never mind. You know what? Prove me wrong, didn't you, baby zombie? But now the way to me goes past the sheep. Oh, no, never mind. Had to prove me wrong. But yeah, usually they'll like walk onto another mob. Chickens are common. Sheep are possible. It's very cute regardless of what they do. I mean, it's cute, but it's also like a nightmare because baby zombies riding another mob is the worst. Like they have like speed and then they also have things. I call them baby ninjas because they're so fast. You know, that's very cute. So thank you very much, by the way. Oh wait, I missed a thing. It's okay, you drink the wrong tea. You should drink Egyptian licorice. That sounds terrible. Also, whoa!
Our IT department is like the UN on my team. We have a half Taiwanese, me, Nigerian, Indian, Singaporean, Chinese, Hawaiian, Vietnamese, Filipino, Australian, Jamaican, Scottish, and my South African.
Okay, so I find it interesting, like, especially like, cause you know, like, I know Houston is like a super international city. I didn't appreciate it was like that level of international. I find it interesting how crazy, like, you know, like, cause America's of course one of the most diverse countries in the world. Like, people don't see it that way. They're like, there's an American and it's a cowboy shooting a revolver rifle at the sky. What's a revolver rifle? I don't know. But it's always interesting when you see it like, oh yeah, like in certain areas, it's like, no, not that way in the slightest. Like, I love that mixture because it means that like one of the things that makes America unique in that way is like most countries are relatively ethnically homogenous. And you get to see the weirdest combinations of like, oh yeah, these things combine together. And again, I tend to find this is my offensive opinion, but any food that travels is better than food that doesn't travel. So like, for instance, hypothetically, the Vietnamese food that makes it to you in Houston, probably better than a healthy proportion of the Vietnamese food in Vietnam. Is it the best Vietnamese food in the world? Could be. We don't know for sure. But like, if its food's so good that like it's good outside the culture, that's successful, you know. Like, if you do something because it's the way you've always done it, that's a way of doing things, sure. If you do something because it's so good you switch, like, you get me what I'm saying? Like, IKEA is so good that you'll use it. You know, the Swedish design principles they try and sell you on, no one cares about that. You're just like, oh, it's cheap and it's good, you know? Like, that's what you want, or like, it's cheap and it's okay. I meet every now and then like a furniture snob that's like, oh, IKEA it doesn't stand up to. That's why we call it the melting pot, says Mitzi Cat 99. Well, the thing you don't understand about America, Mitzi Cat 99, is even though it's called the melting pot is slowly fading away. You see, the problem with the melting pot is the melting pot assumes assimilation to the culture. And although that's something that a lot of people find to be very useful, to have some overlying culture that connects you to your neighbors, the thing that a lot of people are now saying is that maybe if you say a melting pot, then maybe the country doesn't work so well, because why should anyone have to get rid of their culture? And although the answer is that in reality no one has to get rid of their culture to go into a I love whenever we do the accent. There's like a couple of people that are like loving it, and this one is like, I can't stop. That's my favorite thing. But the thing you gotta understand about the melting pot is that a melting pot is kind of a natural formation. You shouldn't be fighting necessarily the melting pot. You should just be understanding that the melting pot is what everything else is kind of built upon. And that it's not racist to say that you can maybe combine a lot of cultures and make them better, because that's how all things kind of work. If there's no real such thing as cultural appropriation, what there really is there's cultures improving by improving and by taking each other's ideas. In the same way that the real world works with competition. There is a competition happening with all the cultures, and most cultures lose. And you know what? The one that survives is the real impressive one. That's kind of accurate to where I live. Wait. I like it even though it's bad. I have no idea what he's saying. You know, I'm understandable when I speak British. When I speak American, it all goes out the window. It's interesting. Apparently, wait, this is what Pookie told me yesterday. All I have to do to sound more Texan I gotta do that same accent, but just say y'all a little bit. Because y'all need to understand the way we talk down here is we just say the word y'all. I mean, sure, we can say hi, we can say you, we can say you all. But y'all is just such a great abbreviation. The thing about y'all is like it saves so little space. Like Y apostrophe all is like yo. The Culture of the Spies is the impressive one. Yeah, the one that kills the other cultures, says Clara. See, like historically, that's I think there's a little bit of truth to that. Like that, like we kind of have this let's call it over obsession with European ideals because we're like, oh yeah, because it's the one that survived, and it survived because it was the one that was most hostile towards the other ones. But Jack Cuff says, yeehaw, I'm an American, and I drink water because that's healthy and it's nice taste. That said, I hope you said that I would have an American accent. Yeehaw, I'm an American and I drink water. No, I think there really is a, potentially an overrepresentation on that level. But also, it's undeniable that to even have the ability... Like, okay, let's put it this way, right? America right now, regardless of whether you like or hate America, you'd have to say they are the most powerful... No other, I guess there's like 5 nations you could say. They have the ability to wipe out any other nation at will right now. Like, if Russia wants a country dead, they would suffer serious retaliation, but instantly they're gone, right? And the country that's that on the most levels, like, even if you take away this, they got this. Like, there is that, like, and even though that's like not a good culture level, you can also argue that like, well, it's not a, it makes it the most advanced in some level, right? Like, the furthest along the tech tree, if you picture like a Civilization 6 game. And I think you overrepresent advanced cultures. Because like, an equally valid culture, right, is, if you, also, can you do an all music disc speedrun on stream, says a lot of Japanese characters. Do you mean for Minecraft Console Edition? I think that would be a lot of fun, actually. Oh, we got a whole other shulker box in here. We should just use that. I was really enjoying the soothing tone of your voice until you started doing that accent, says Rashal715. Well, you see, the problem with super chatting to tell me that you didn't like my accent is you know exactly what... Oh, wait. Is you know exactly what I'm gonna do with that. The problem is that you're telling me exactly what I need to hear. With an obscene amount of nuclear weapons. Y'all. The box is empty, Toy Cat. You know, the box is only empty when you believe the box is empty. The moment you believe, you know, like, the moment you believe the box is empty, you've lost twice, you know? That's how that works. But, hey Toy Cat, I've just thought of this. To what extent is a serving suggestion, as surely tipping the said product into a bowl is technically serving in another way to how it's brought? I think serving suggestions are like, I don't know. I don't know if you're talking about serving sizes actually, or like, you know, like a picture on the box of how something's meant to be used. It always annoys me when you buy like a really basic ingredient and it gives you suggestions on how to use it. Like, I get they're useful, but I'm like, no. How about I won't do that? You're like, this would go really good in a lentil soup. And it's like, never making that in my life now. Like, again, I know for some number of people that's useful, but to me, I'm just like, nope. I refuse to even consider making that now. But do a Midwestern accent. I don't think I can do a Midwestern accent, honestly. Like, Midwestern is, again, I say this, and I've got a friend from the New York area who just says, like, oh, it's something about God. But, like, Midwesterns have, like, one of the most, like, clear accents in America. Like, a lot of newscasters come from the Midwest, because it's very neutral. Like, I know there's, like, a Chicago accent, roughly, but I can't tell you what it is. I can tell you they eat pizza there, but it's not real pizza. Yeah, I think it's, oh, do a northern accent. It's crazy. I literally can't do accents from my same country. Like, I'm from Liverpool. I'm speaking like this because it's from a little bit of the front of the, you know, like, but like if you listen to how like Echo, you know, like if you know Echo, a friend of mine, lives in Liverpool. I think that's public information. And he's like, oh yeah. Like, the way he speaks is, like, fascinatingly different to me. Like, I would argue me and, like, someone from the Midwest speak more similarly than me and someone from, like, an hour away and an hour and a half away in my same country. Spooky Ham says, I am Pookie Helm's evil twins. You can pick your toys and you can you can pick your toys and you can your cat, but you can't pick your toy cat. You know, those are words to live by. You can pick your toys, you can pick your cat, but you can't pick your toy cat. You know, if everyone just realized that, maybe the world would be a better place, huh? Maybe the world would be a much better place. Do a New York accent. I don't want to do a New York accent because all I see is I'm walking over here and people get confused. Yikes, you got trolled. Jack off equals jack off, says Tipscoot. Yeah, I used to assume his name was a troll forever, but apparently, like, he's a regular on the channel. Apparently, that's just his real name. Apparently, it's not like you know, like, oh yeah, my name is Ben Dover. Can you say that quickly? Ben Dover. Or like, oh, someone got me to say like something terrible. I want to say it was like, oh, it might be like the N. Like someone used like the name trick and like for the N word, and it's like, oh, that's a big no. See, this is the thing about having. Okay, I've got an opinion. I'm not gonna tie this to specific words, but I think context is so much more important than words. Like trying to have banned words is a really weird cultural idea because there are so many contexts in which those words need to be said. And like, if you're gonna say like, oh, even if you accidentally say it, it's like, but surely if someone says, oh, I didn't mean the thing, immediately after saying a thing, you can nullify it, you know? Like the whole, like, you have to retract a statement. If I say right now, I really like dogs, I'm gonna quickly retract that. I don't really like dogs, you know? Midwestern is close to General American English, which is the American version of RP, but there's several different varieties in Midwestern. Cities and regions differ. Minnesota, for example. Hey, I'm from Minnesota. I'm talking like this, eh? What accent did I accidentally put on? Not Minnesotan, that's for sure. Yes, it's my real name. As a socialist, your cultural appropriation takes are surprisingly on point. It's wacky because it's you know, like it's become more. It's like been seen more and more of like a thing. Like the takes that have been seen as like super, like, oh yeah, we're being super progressive, are like the same things racists will say. Like, I don't think culture should mix at all. It's like people who think that are, on one hand, you know, people who are really concerned about, you know, like something cultural appropriation, and racists. It's like, you know, it's like, oh yeah, you know, for really good socialist reasons, I want to take all the banking class, you know, the bankers, regardless of their religion, but like, you know, mostly of their religion, and I want to lock them in some camps. And then we'll take their money and we'll give it to people, you know? You know, we'll get, you know, like, gas the bankers. And it's like, wait. This, you can't argue that's you've just described, like, it's fascinating because we use, we describe politics in, like, left and right wing, right? We try to binary down to two things. But once you go further on both sides on one axis, you can end up entirely, like, it's like, let's put it this way. The most extreme thing people picture in America is Texas, right? Like it's gone toting freedom having Texas, and on the other end is like probably like California, right? Like you literally pitch them opposite ends of like a magic spectrum, right? But therefore like, oh yeah, what's a you know, I don't know, a right-wing view on immigration, like that it's bad because, you know, Mexicans stealing your jobs, but it's like actually that would be like, you know, that you know, like, first of all, like the state with the highest Spanish proportion, like one of the highest at least, is Texas. And second of all, it's like, if you actually look into it, it's like, oh yeah, some of the most diverse cities in the country. Like Houston, for example, you know, the model UN that Pookie works at. And it's like, oh yeah, because those are actually, you know, we have these like broad two things because it's, we love having like as a society like something to be against. Like, oh, which side do you like? You know how much you hate the other guy? You know that election they just had recently with that old, you know, senile, had been in, you know, like, had been in politics before. Actually, that's a bad example. Like, oh, let's just go with old senile, white, 70-something-year-old man from the northeast of America. You know that guy that you really hate? And then also the guy who's white, senile, old from the northeast of America that you really love? It's like, the differences you can draw between, it's fascinating what I'm trying to say. It's me, the socialist. Please stop the horseshoe ferrying, says Foster. No, it's what I'm trying to say is the further out you get is not that you become the same. It's that you find similarities, and you try to justify them like they're not. Like you're trying to describe the same things in words. There are clearly distinct differences, but it's kind of like, you know, if you take people who are let's put it this way, like two people who are fans of this channel, right? You, the socialist Foster, and someone I've seen recently, as they've been interacting a lot, is someone who's apparently on the MAGA train, right? And you both like the same Minecraft YouTuber. How is that possible? Given that you would see him as your antithesis, probably, maybe, right? Except like, oh, it's actually more complex than just this is the opposite of that. Like, human beings can't be the fact that you can even like a pretty core part of like someone who is actively, you know, like if you call yourself an anti-racist, and like someone, you can have a lot in common with someone who is actively yes racist, not anti-racist, positive, right? I don't know what to even describe that as. Politics of Toy Cat. I'm trying to make a big point that like we all have things. No matter how much you think you have in common in someone, you have something in common with them. And apparently, for you and that other politics person, one of those is IBX Toy Cat. There might be your takes on culture. It might be your takes on this. But trying to make anyone a cartoon villain in real life is never going to work. And I feel like whenever we do that, we actually make... Oh, is this Netherrack? No, it's not. We're going to have to... Okay, let's put away some empty boxes first. Not empty yet. Empty. Is this empty? This isn't empty, but it's good to have another box. And then let's go get some food, because we just ran out. Careful, man. You're in dangerous territory. I was, in fact... I never want to, like... Also, why did I unequip the totem? I really don't know. But, yeah, I definitely... See, right? The fact that there are certain things you can't talk about is always interesting. It's the same thing as the words thing, right? Like, if you try to argue there's never, ever, ever, ever a good context for words, there's never an acceptable reason to use any word. It's like... But that ignores that human communication is this huge, diverse, massive thing. You can't make any sweeping statement about, like, entirely banning a thing. You can be like, yeah, it's mostly gone. But, like, we also know that the easiest messages to share are absolutes. So we're like, oh, yeah, you know, that's why we'll make out the cartoon villains, and that's why we'll make out the... that there are some words you can never, ever say under any conditions. And it's like, what if you could save someone's life by saying the word? What if there was a voice-activated password, and a guy's on the street, and he's like, "Oh yeah, you just gotta say this word, like the let's use like the is it called what the F slur? Some people like to call it." And it's like, okay, so it's you know, you come across a gay man's phone, it's voice-activated. You need to call 911, but for some reason you gotta type in the password. But also it's only voice-controlled, and you need to activate it. And he's like, the password is, you know the word, you know, it's like. It means, like, we use it, like, offensively to describe gay people, although gay people use it to describe them. You know, like, it's that one, can you say that out loud? Because I just can't talk. I'm dying. And you're like, I'm sorry, man. I'm never allowed to say that word. And it's like, oh, it's okay. You got, like, a situation where you can use it. And then it's like, okay, what if you're trying to describe it in academical settings, where you're, like, trying to talk about the use of the word? It's like, oh, yeah, clearly then, too. And it's like, okay, so what if you're talking to... And then what it really comes down to is the rule is, like, don't try and make people uncomfortable. Don't do things that are deliberately obnoxious, which should be like rule 1 anyway, right? Like it's the same thing with what do you think the future of Minecraft would be? Says Paris Gaming. The future of Minecraft is definitely going to be a huge expansion beyond any belief. Why would you make your password a slur? Says you're not casualized consumer. You know, you get a point. If you make your password a slur, you deserve to die. Yeah. You deserve to die. The man says my password's this, and you go, oh my god, can't believe you'd say that word. You're gonna die for that, and then not call the police on them. That's a power play. That's what I'm gonna do. But yeah, it's like when we talk in absolutes, we then people prove you wrong as like that absolute, and they feel like you must be wrong about more. Trying to be precise is a lost art in 2020. Like using words. Measure to say things that you are sure of. Using your words to say things that you know on some level rather than guessing. You know, it's like one of the things I've been trying to get better at. Thank you, by the way, FunCat1. This is the last tip I can possibly give you. That's a very ominous message, but thank you very much. What's up, FunCat? There'll always be an acceptable use case to use every good word, especially because disabled people involuntarily say certain words. Also, I'm gay. Here, have an Toga has the F slur pass. See, that's okay. You know, I really wanna. I really want to dive more into this. See, if I said it on Twitch though, Twitch would still ban me, even though it's been readied as okay, right? It's been readied as okay. But yeah, so something. Can I share something? I make videos where I talk for a long time, right? So I'm over the course of this live stream. How many words do we speak a minute? Let's assume 1 word a second, 60 words a minute. Probably more like 2 words a second because you speak pretty fast. So 120 words a minute. Let's say we stream for just 1 hour. Over an hour, we're doing 7,200 words. Like we're saying a lot of words, and you know, like there's 10 words to a sentence, 720 sentences, 720 thoughts. Even if some of them connect, that's a lot of them. One of the problems I used to have is I used to make videos, and I used to do like I saw a comment that once. I was like, you know, I really like your videos, but sometimes I feel like you waffle unnecessarily. And like I took it to heart, and I was like, no, I don't waffle. You suck, man. Your dad gay, you know. Like I don't know what I was going for, but I was like, you know, no. People enjoy it. You're just jealous, or you know, like you jump into defense mode when someone attacks something that like feels true. That's when you want to defend it the most. When it's like, you know, it feels correct, but you suck. You wanna. That's your first like. We don't really learn about how to like. It's hard to see criticism of something you do as separate to criticism of something you are. Hi, my mempic changed. I'm officially 6 months a member. Hey, congrats, McBella. I hope you enjoy your gold cat. See, you see other cats in there, and you're like, yeah. Well, it's not a gold cat, is it? Waffler, says Myra V. It really does. It really does hurt. Like, I don't know, like, when you feel like something's true, it hurts more. Like, if you say to me, oh, yeah, you're toy cat, you're really, really, I don't know, what's the thing? If you say to me that, toy cat, you're really short, I'm like, haha, yeah, fun one. Or like, toy cat, you're just not good at, you know, YouTube. You suck. You don't have any views on your YouTube channel. I'm like, yeah, you know, I definitely not the biggest channel, but I'm pretty comfortable with the, you know, where we're at on the free channels. Like I like I like where things are personally. I'm happy with the direction things are going as well. Like you can't insult something that I'm feeling good about because I'm gonna be like, yeah, no, pretty, you know, like I'm pretty immune to that. But if you attack something that you're weak about, it hurts. And so like the person said I was a waffler, and I was like, oh, am I just like? And then I looked back and I was like, yeah, I say a lot of words that's just filler. And I realized that talking fast, because I used to talk fast to try and get as many thoughts out as fast as possible, rather than wasting your time. Let's talk at a speed where you can understand, where you can get as much information as possible. Because I was making Minecraft tutorials, and I hate when people are like, hey guys, welcome to episode 402 of the tutorial series. I'm gonna teach you to make a farm today. It's gonna be a farm that allows you to make sugarcane. It's gonna go from sky height to bedrock, and I'm gonna teach you how to make it. So like the video and subscribe. Please do subscribe. We're gonna get a few hundred subscribers if you do, and share the video if you're good. But it's like, no. Hello, my big toy cat. Here's a tutorial. We're gonna be showing you how this sugarcane works, what's going on there. Like I wanted to like make it more appealing for when you first get into there. Reminds me of the smoking wheat video. I still think like it's a terrible idea, and I'm mildly glad I didn't do it. I think it would have been a power move to actually smoke wheat for that video. You need to speed it up to 100,000 times when I watch you. But like, yeah, like getting information out fast is like important. But like one of the downsides is when I was trying to speak faster, I was also like adding in some filler in some cases. Because if you don't have a thought and you're trying to speak, like leaving gaps is awkward. So I was like, I'd fill in the gaps of just whatever I could. Like I'd repeat something if I had to, which is better than not saying anything. Like, oh yeah, so I'd repeat things if I really had to. You know, say the same thing again. I would say a thing, and then I would say the same thing just afterwards. I would repeat myself over and over again. The same thing would be said multiple times in quick succession. I'd make the same point, and then I'd make almost exactly the same point just afterwards. and I'd repeat myself while doing that. But like I'd repeat myself, and then I would do it again. I'd say the same thing, but again after that, and then I'd do the same thing again, and then I'd repeat myself, and anyway, so I noticed I was doing that, and I was like, okay, that's easy enough to work on. Except it's not, because trying to talk fast and deliver information fast, and also trying not to say the same thing, actually is kind of hard. So that's one of the things I've been trying to work on since then, is like try to use your words to, like, you realize so much of the English language isn't about conveying information, but if you're making a tutorial video, it should be about that. If you're making a I will start every tip by saying on the socialist one, I just want to announce to Mr. Maga that it's valid and everything, as long as you don't hate crime me. See, you know, we need more open dialogues between Mr. Socialist Foster and Mr. Maga guy. See, right, isn't it crazy? Like, here's another thing, right? So, here's an example of how imprecisely we use words. So, person who, you know, like, just now, right now, to describe someone who is a supporter of Donald Trump, I said a MAGA guy, right? M-A-G-A. If you don't know, it's like his slogan is "Make America Great Again." But like someone who is you know, like a MAGA guy should mean someone who believes in the concept of MAGA. And like, if you live in America and you don't think America needs to be great, like, what? Really? Like, that's a bizarre concept, right? Like, shouldn't you want your country to be great? But like, the reason that doesn't work is because I'm gonna have to remove some dirt from this to make this. Like, otherwise I'm just gonna like place a bunch in this gap. Yeah, let's take some dirt away from this side. Yeah, let's just destroy a bunch of dirt. Like, you know, like we use an idea to describe a group instead of using a group to describe a group. Like, oh yeah, it should be, you know, right? Like, rather than when people think, you know, socialism, they don't think socialism. They think like, ooh, the people who say the thing. And it's an easy distinction to make, but like ideas and people usually are semi-separate. And like, you know, the trick is that some people use an idea to get somewhere and that. But it's like, oh yeah, also like, another example that like, it's weird and wacky. I don't know if you look into it. But we use this all the time, so I'm going to say. Hippity hoppity, English private property, says Trumo TV. See, right, that's, you're actively saying it now, right? And therefore, like, okay, someone who doesn't like a thing can look at your words and be like, I don't like that idea. And the reason I don't like that idea is because X, or Y, or maybe even Z. Maybe I dislike your idea because of Z. Here's the main question, A350 or 787? Hey, you know what, my name is Joey Gaffney. Thank God. Great like Great Britain. See, if you had a campaign saying "Make Britain Great Again," that would be funny. People would laugh. Or maybe they wouldn't, because they've now, even though you're just saying words, because it's clearly a reference to another set of words, and it's a whole interesting thing, right? Yeah. So you're finally asking the questions I want to answer. My name is Joey Gaffney. I think I'd enjoy just talking about planes for like an entire live stream. I generally have considered, like, you know, because the cool thing about what I do is, like, if I'm passionate about something, I can, like, try my best to, like, make that passion into something that I can do for a day. So, like, I've been reviewing various flights I've been on to, like, help people out in that way on the second channel, for instance. It's something I like about what I do. I'm very pleased with it. But, the debate, like, the A350, like, I started flying just when both the planes were getting into service. And let me tell you, my initial thought was, like, 787's definitely the cooler one. Like, because I used to fly it way more. But there's one thing, right? So if you're flying a plane, there's two brand new types of planes. I'm going to try and explain it to like the broader audience who are like, Toy Cat, what do those numbers mean? So there's lots of types of planes in the world, and there's two brand new like wide body planes. So planes that will fly usually on pretty long routes. One is the Boeing 787 or 787 is usually how you hear it. 787, I guess. And one is the Airbus A350. They both got pretty much the same capacity. They both serve pretty much the same purpose. And so the question is like, oh, do you like the European Airbus company one, or do you like the American, Boeing, one instead? Ooh, there's a war. Who makes a better plane? You know, there's only really two manufacturers out there. It's like Coke and Pepsi, right? But for the aviation world. And my answer is that the 787 is so cool because there's windows in the toilets. That is the coolest thing on any plane. Every single time, this is so dumb. Every time I go to the bathroom, I'm like, yeah, and then I start peeing. Like if someone had a pair of binoculars out those windows, they could zoom in on that bathroom and see me urinating. Like how urinating with a view is how many things are better than that? Genuinely, give me a list of things better than it, and I'll give you a list of reasons you're wrong. Toilet windows. For real, they don't do these on trains, because on trains, like, you're going past, like, houses and stuff. It's lame. But, Poggers! Wait, is that the message just came out? No, we need electric planes, says Foster. Actually, you know, the thing about electric planes is we need new battery technology, because with the current battery capacity, even if you, like, doubled it, we fundamentally cannot do electric planes for any distance because of how much batteries weigh compared to how much they can store. And how, like, even if we had crazy energy efficient planes, just the capacity required. Like, batteries are really, really heavy, which is fine for a car because that weight can go near the bottom and it can give you more traction or something. But it's terrible for a plane. Moment de Poggers says, pick a mix. Thank you very much for the Poggers, pick a mix. I am glad you enjoy it. I'm going to try and find something to make me eat better. Plus I feel bad, says Haley Williams. You know, you should eat something that makes you feel better. Oh, something that was, or wireless power transfer. See, if we like, like, that's such a almost science fiction sounding technology. Like, for a plane in the sky going at 1,000 kilometers an hour, or like 800 miles. Okay, so, the 787 is better because of the toilets, but the A350 is a better experience if you're in, if you're flying economy, like, objectively, the A350 is better. And if you're flying any other class, it comes down to the windows and the toilets. Yeah, I'd say the A350 looks cooler. The 787 has toilet windows. And then in terms of, like, what you're flying, if you're in economy, obviously, the A350 every time. Anyone who says otherwise is dumb. And as far as any other class, decide what matters more, a cool-looking plane or toilets in your bathrooms. There we go. Boom. That is Toycat's opinion on the newest generation of airplanes. Having flown both. I think I've flown both literally like a dozen times each now or something. It's one of the like, because one of my dumb hobbies is like, I like flying. I'm like into the planes. I'm like excited. Like it's actually like an exciting moment to fly a new plane for the first time. Even when it's like a terrible like regional jet, I'm like, oh, you see how this is like, there's a thing here. When are you going to do a bad ideas of 2020 video, says Crafty Cactus. My assistant has it right now, actually. She's just got to edit it together. But she's probably doing things. I don't know. I don't bother about this sort of thing. When it happens, it happens. And she's good at making sure it happens. See, this is why you have an assistant. Because then stuff is out of your hands, right? And the more things that are out of your hands, the more you can talk about planes. But what are you looking for on a plane? Toilet windows. Like, okay, think about it this way, right? Have you ever been on a plane? Have you ever been on a different plane? You might not even know because all planes are genuinely that similar. Like if you're... The only difference the consumer will notice is wide body or narrow body. Like, how many aisles the plane has, because then you can, like, do a loop if it's 2 aisles. If it's just one, you sit in your seat the whole plane. That's, like, the only genuine difference that'll affect you as a passenger. Like, outside of your seat, but your seat is unrelated to the plane type because they install the same ones on all the planes. Anyway, so what's your most expensive and most disappointing plane ride? So I was in the Dominican Republic for a family holiday, and I was going to New Jersey to see one of my friends / moderators from the area, and I had to pay American Airlines $200-something. Like, that was a lot for me for a flight. That's what I'm used to paying for, like, going from, like, London to New York or something. But no, I paid that for Dominican to New York. It was a 4-hour flight, and because of basic economy or whatever, they put me in the middle seat of the plane, and that's fine. Middle seats, like, suck, but, like, you expect that you'd get them a statistical amount of the time if you buy basic economy, sure. But what really stung is it wasn't just a middle seat. It was a middle seat between 2 Americans. And again, I never want to offend Americans by being like, ooh, Americans fat lol. But the if you think about the size of Plain Sea, think about the size of American, and now think I don't just have 2 Americans. I have 2, I have people you could spot from across the room as being American without them even talking. If you get what I'm saying, and so these 2 very lovely people, I'm sure, sat between me, and like there's a little armrest on the plane that goes like this high. They both spilled over it onto me. I was covered in person for 4 hours on a $200 flight. This ticket should have got me from London to New York, but just because like they're the only people flying, they can charge what they want for the dumbest seat. And as a result, I was like, okay, not again, not again. I was very uncomfortable, and like it's like they're not a fault. They were lovely people.
Stream, but Toy Cat is defiantly yes. Your vids have got me into streaming recently and still working on how to stream on too, but my first week I've had 0.9 viewers.
Thank you so much, Russell Purbity. So I will tell you, the overwhelming majority of live streamers have 0 viewers. Like if you look at the media, like this is a genuine fact that like it's kind of mind blowing when you think about it. The median live streamer has 0 viewers. The average live streamer has no viewers. 0.9 is genuinely in the top 50%. And I know that's unbelievable when you're here at a stream and you're like, but Toycat, you have, how many do we have right now? We have 1,258, give or take a few. Your number will display something different from mine. It's like, well, of course you can say that, Toycat. I'm really lucky that like I'm streaming on a platform where I'm doing something else. Like I'm a YouTuber who is also just doing streaming. I don't think anyone would honestly find me or watch me or care about me if I wasn't a YouTuber. Like I'm willing to admit that. I'm not gonna pretend I'm the world's best streamer that people watch just for streams. I would like that to be true one day, and I'd like people to watch me for streams, but I don't know how many people that is right now. But actually, I don't know if I want people to watch specifically for streams. I want people to like the streams and like want to watch videos as a result. But you know what? The whole point about what my goals are here we can talk about later. Let's talk about you. So yeah, the truth is getting beyond that is so hard. Getting anyone to watch your stream at all. That is someone dedicating, like, if you've been here for the last hour and 6 minutes, you gave me an hour of your life. After the stream's over, I'll post on Twitter how many hours, because it will actually tell me how many watch minutes there were, and they'll convert it into hours or whatever. And like I'll tell you how many like hours the stream was watched for, and you'll be like, oh, interesting. But yeah, so I know it sucks, and I know like there's nothing I can say that's gonna magically make you feel great, or there's no like I don't even know how to be good at streaming because I'm not a streamer. I'm a YouTuber who just also streams. But I can say like you going somewhere, it's hard to tell you where to go from there, or even where to go to begin with. Like I don't know how to get people in streaming. I have people non-stop ask me, I want to start streaming. Like 5 years ago, every now and then someone would be like, I want to start a YouTube channel because like, you know, I'm funny and I play games or whatever. And I'd be like, yeah, sure, here's how you do it. It's easy. Like I could at least give advice. No one did it, but at least I was like feeling like I was helping them. If someone asked me now, like, oh yeah, I'm trying to get into YouTube, what do you recommend? I'd be like, honestly, no clue. I just searched how to viewbot and this came up. Oh, you caught me, Sunilwam. Everyone here's fake. Chat, you know, he's rused us all. You can turn off your bots. We're all good now. But yeah, my GCSE mock exams tomorrow. Woo! Happy mock exam day, Goat V2. Good luck.
Twitch account to just to mod easier. Not expecting loads of viewers, but have SoCal problems and thought it might help talking to people online. So any tips on getting a few viewers? Love the vids, by the way.
See, that's the, like, honestly, the tips that are good for getting people aren't generally given out because, like, you're going to annoy people if it's clear you're going somewhere to do a thing. But, like, if you just want to get a few viewers in there, you find find a community somewhere that would perhaps enjoy a stream. Like, you know, I know what you're streaming if it's, like, Minecraft. Find a super niche Minecraft community. Maybe it's got Discord. Like, for instance, like, in the Minecraft Bedrock speedrunning space, El Triego does a bunch. Like he's like one of the watched guys in that field. Like he has like a few dozen people just come and watch him while he does a speedrun attempts. I don't think he even talks, but he's like he might. I'm not sure, but he didn't the time I was watching him. But being relatively big in a community first, and then that's actually how I launched my website back in the day. Like I was big in it. I used to post a lot about a particular thing on a forum, and then one day I made one of my things. I was like, oh yeah, this is this thing I'm doing. Here's the scoop, and people were excited, like, oh, this is Toycat. He's a trusted. He's been here for years. He's not gonna scam me. He's not gonna take my money. Obviously, in a stream, people don't take your money, but like, there was like a level of trust that you have when you're, like, because it's that. I think there's a advertising fact that like people are more likely to go with a name they know, just because like, oh yeah, they've spotted it already. It seems like a logical choice in the brand. That's what advertising is really all about. What hurt me just then? Probably falling, I guess. Imagine not being subbed, says not boomer. Glad you're not a boomer. But yeah, that's the best advice I can give. Like subreddit, Discord. I find other things. It's a really hard answer to give because most of growth that comes on these platforms is like the rich getting richer. If you're looking for a streamer to watch, you probably pick the guy with 90,000 subscribers, 90,000 viewers. Twitch recommends that I watch whoever the biggest Minecraft streamers of the day, rather than the 58th biggest. I actually go specifically like sometimes on YouTube Gaming and on Twitch, and I'm like, oh, let's go find whoever, like just some random people. Let's go give them my Twitch Prime subscription, or let's go give them a little bit of support. Let's like tip them a little bit because I like to help out in that way. And it's like, I think that's me being red. It's like how people always say support local businesses. And it's kind of the online version of that. Is like the reason people say it is because people are more inclined to support what they know, and you're more inclined to know a chain. People are more inclined to watch a stream they know, and you're more inclined to know someone with 100,000 viewers than a guy with 16 views. But ultimately, you can only go so far of individual behavior because, especially if you would like if I prefer to eat at McDonald's and I'm eating at some garbage local burger place instead, it's like I'm taking the sacrifice. I mean, you're feeling good, which is fine, but like that feeling wears off after a while. I don't know what the long-term solution is because so many people want to be streamers, and there's a much larger audience of people who want to be streamers than people who are watching streams, especially if every streamer person wanted to have a bunch of things. It's like there's a line in Little Britain, which is a show in the UK. Fun fact, you probably haven't heard of it. That's like there's the number of pubs in Britain has been growing every year. There's now 5 pubs for every person, and it's like a funny joke that like, oh, of course, 5 pubs to a person. That's ridiculous. But also you can imagine like if everyone wants to own a pub, you're gonna get the number of pub to people is gonna go down. The number of people who can possibly visit each one will go down, and it's a long-term issue that can go in there. So yeah, I guess what I'm really saying is sucks that it's not. Toycat is marginally overweight, says Lawrence Anthony. See, right? That hurts. I'm gonna plug my numbers into a BMI calculator later, and you're gonna maybe hurt my feelings. Well, I'm gonna do it right now. Let's stand on the very edge. Let's put people on edge and let's do this. Let's just stand right here. I want to make it as uncomfortable as possible, and let's go look up BMI calculator. Am I an average weight, or am I technically overweight? So I'm going on NHS. I am 5 foot and 9 inches. I am stone and pounds. I don't know my weight in stone and pounds. What is I guess like 168 would be 12 stone. So then you add another 10, and that's 12 stone 10. I'm 12 stone 10, and my age is 25, and I'm a male, and my ethnic group is okay. I guess it's mixed. There we go. Activity level, I'd say I'm moderately active, between 30 and 60 minutes a week. That sounds about correct. Oh no, chat. Oh, chat, I got some bad news for you. Your comment hurt me. Your comment hurt me. Wait, let me show you why. Your comment hurts real bad. Look at this. Here's where I need to be. Here's where I am. I'm overweight. My ethnicity means that excess weight can put me at higher risk for health problems like type 2 diabetes. All I need to do is lose 5% of my weight. I have to lose 9 pounds and eat this number of calories. What is BMI though? BMI uses your height and weight to Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, fun fact. I'm overweight. Look what you did to me. You hurt me. You hurt me mildly. How you feel about that? So yeah, you can there's something beautiful about Netherrack next to grass. I agree. Okay, cardio and vegetables. How tall are you? I'm like 5'8" and something, but everyone rounds up, so I'm 5'9" in the world of rounding. You're not fat, you're just big-hearted. It's not that I have too much weight, it's that I have too much heart. That's what it really is. It's interesting because, like, societally... Is this a health stream now? You know, it should be a health stream. No, I've always wanted to be a dietitian, but, like, one that just, like, instead of, like, you know, coming up with garbage pretend diets and being like, ooh, it's really all about your ability to do X, Y, Z, Z, Y, X, etc. Just being like, okay, so here's the deal: eat fewer calories than you spit out, and you're good. It's like, you know, but there's no market for that. Like how there's no market for a financial advisor that just says spend less money than you make, and then you can save the rest. BMI is built from the weight loss industry anyway. That was the NHS website though. That's like, I'll make an American analog because I know the NHS isn't widespread. That's my health insurance people. Is that correct? Yeah, that's my health insurance company. See, I'm American. That's my health insurance company that says that. And although I could believe that perhaps the very concept itself is a little outdated, it would seem a bit weird for the, like, I don't know. Toy Cat's taught me finances in a nutshell. I just explained everything you need to know about finances. Literally took me 10 seconds. Spend less money than you earn. Try to earn more money. Can't earn more money? Spend less money. Now you have more money. Boom. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, so I need to put the... Oh, I've got lots of grass. That's good. I need lots of grass for a thing I'm doing soon. Then we need to grab some more Netherrack. Oh, good news, I have all the Netherrack in the world. I was genuinely worried I was running out there. But worry no longer, I see. The NHS is owned by the government. Yeah, so if you... I agree, Hexateron, as your name is now pronounced, I've decided. In the UK, we have a... my husband is 6'8". Every time you tell me that, I'm like, you know, that's insane. That's too tall. That is more than the man should have in height. Too much. Toycat, you're not fat, you're just muscular. You're like the Dwayne Johnson of Minecrafters. You're not. See, this is why we need the internet. It's a nice support group of people who just say nice things. But no, I'm doing a bunch of exercise. I'm eating. Wait, do you want to know how many calories I ate today? Internet. I can find out right now. I ate 2,318 calories today. Wait, what did the NHS website recommend? I might be on the higher end of that. This is why I'm overweight, internet. But, like, how can I not eat ice cream? I've got this genuine problem. If I eat ice cream one day, the next day, like, I think I might have an ice cream addiction, like a genuine, like, pathological, like, what's the word? A behavioral addiction to eating ice cream. Because if I eat ice cream one day, it's like, well, clearly you're allowed to eat ice cream now. Why are you not eating ice cream today? Do you hate yourself? Do you want to be sad? Do you work all these hours just to not eat ice cream? Is that what it is? And it's like, you're right, me. I should eat some ice cream. Treat myself. And then I do it every day for a very, very, very long time. You know what, let's continue though. BMI does account for muscles though. I mean, I don't think it does. I think it just, like, it should account for them, but, like, it doesn't know your muscular profile. Because it's just dividing your height by your weight. And that's why it's a whole thing. 3 reasons why IBX Toy Catch make a diss track on Phantoms. 1, Phantoms suck. 2, need to see a diss track my least favorite mob. 3, because why not? You know, actually, great idea. I love that. I had an idea to make a diss track on Gravel a while ago. But, like, diss tracks are, like, not easy, I feel like. I know, I need to, like, someone who knows how to make, like, a diss track. Give me advice now. I can do it for Gravel. Why are you doing this, says the Jeff5629. Isn't the more important question, why aren't you doing this? You know, this is an important step we can all be taking in our world, but only I am leading the charge right now. Don't you think that's a little unfair to put all the work on me? You know, I'm just saying. Oh. You know, now the zombie's dead, dying at least. It's the one thing I've got going for me. So, what ice cream flavors does PN? Okay, so my local ice cream place has a bunch of knockoff flavors. So instead, like, I really like Ferrero Rochers, and I really like Kinder Bueno. So they have, like, a knockoff Kinder Bueno and a knockoff Ferrero Rocher. They're both delicious. I cover my mountains in dirt like a true Minecrafter. I mean, I guess that is one way to... I mean, actually, wait. Let me show you something I have. Just in case you're, being 5'11" is great. I tower people and intimidate them. See, isn't it wild, Mother Russia? First of all, like, I'm gonna say your name for this because it's much, like, funnier. Like, I go to Russia. Da is... Oh, your name is literally, like, Dasha, right? Like, so, like, I meet the Russian and the cat. Very cute cat from internet. She much bigger than I can't do it. Damn it! I want to tell this story, but in Russian. It's like it blows my mind. Like, because you know, like 5'11" isn't even like the tallest end of like women. Because like being 7 foot as a guy, like it's fine. Because like someone's gonna like be in low. You know, like there are people who like specifically like height. You know, we got someone in this chat who married one even. But like if you're like 7 foot as a woman, it's like, man, what do you do with that? What do you do with it? Can someone be my girlfriend? Says Trevor Jonet. Okay, you know what, Trevor? I'm officially asking you to marry me. Of course, marriage is a financial commitment on this channel, and the financial commitment we're talking about is, of course, a membership. You are Bulgarian, Toy Cat. You have Eastern European accent. Thank you very much. I try my best to be Bulgarian. I like Bulgaria. I visited, like I like their currency a lot, and I had something there I really loved. Like I had a pastry that I remember thinking like, yeah, this was worth the trip by itself. Like the worst bit is I think it might have been like a variant of the like it was like a burek variant, but I don't know what it was called. It was like the same rough thing as a burek, but it wasn't called a burek. Wait, if you're Bulgarian, tell me what that is. Like, it's like cheese and pastry and meat. Maybe no cheese, actually. Maybe just meat and pastry. No, I had to have cheese of some form. But, like, it's like sad Eastern European cheese. But, like, it was good anyway. I'm installing your cheese now, but... No, I love tall women. Okay, there we go. See, we found our solution. We found our solution. See, I took a generalization that people don't like that, and there is someone who does. Honestly, wait, okay. Here's something that's always confused me is people say they like short because you know, like my opinion on height is like I don't hugely care. I don't want there to be like a huge height disparity because like you know there's a lot of things that your bodies need to line up for. Hey, thank you, Kira Mena, for becoming a channel member. Appreciate that. I hope all is well, friendo. But like it's fascinating because like if you get people say they don't like height differences and like I have no strong opinion, but I'm like maybe not.
Treat yourself.
Thank you, Tara Wise. You know how could I treat myself? I could go to the ice cream place. You feeling it, chat? Ice cream. But no like but then also like high heels are a thing that women wear to like accentuate their like height because people clearly must like the height, but people claim they don't want the height, right? And it's like, what do we want here? What's the scoop? Like, why do people why are high heels a thing if people are, you know, none of this makes any sense or means anything. You should have an ice spikes biome to look like a cave, make the spikes look like stalagmites and build stalactites above them, says Bitslane. That's a fun idea right there. My mom's Bulgarian, I know the pastry you mean, but I can't remember the name, says Sagamov. Damn it. Cool, tall girls can reach high places. Honestly, I should get myself a 6'10" girlfriend so I can get the shelves at the top. Because you know, like there are some stores where the top shelf is like so unreachable. It'd be nice to have someone to reach those things for you. I think high heels are making your butt look good, says Lizzie S. Oh, you're totally right. That's 100% of what it is. Yeah. Nope. Okay, ignore me. No, but then okay, wait. I think that is like part of the reason. I think that's like a big benefit now that I think about it. I look like a literal tower in high heels. I think that's a big part of it too. But I also think like because they come in like different sizes, right? There's 3 inches, 4 inches, 6 inches. At least 2 of those sizes are real. Therefore, logically, we can conclude, we can assume at least, that like people want different height levels. Because I don't think like the inches affects how your butt looks. Abolish the means of height production. See, right? Okay, you know, Foster, right? I don't necessarily, I wouldn't describe myself as sharing your position on socialism, but because one of the things that I do agree with is that inequality feels bad. Like when you see like, oh yeah, we have money is basically a measure by which we can buy you can't buy happiness and money, but you can come so close to buying happiness and money, and in a lot of cases you can just buy happiness and money. There are ways you can make sadness go away with money. So we have this thing that can do so many great things, and then it's unequally distributed, right? And it seems when you take those two facts together and combine them, it seems really messed up. And you know, the unequal distribution of wealth and of income, they're two entirely separate issues. But like, you know, they both seem very unfair, right? They both feel very incorrect. But then at the same time, it's the place I disagree is like, you know, but we also have that in so many other fields. We have like, you know, again, like there, even though you made a joke right there is a height distribution, and some people genuinely just prefer people with more height ups. Like it's, and on average, more people prefer tall people than short people. So you've got like a real advantage for being tall. You can reach higher things. In, you know, like you're less likely to be bullied in your childhood. You can do more sports. You know, most of the sports players are tall, especially in the NBA, for instance, right? But like being tall helps you in almost every single sport. Hey, thank you! Do Russell Pebbody for becoming a support cat. I appreciate it. I hope that despite your social problems, you manage to find some internet. Because the cool thing about the internet is there for you if you have. Like in real life, there's always a trillion different things. That's why I married him, says Cat Beanie. There we go. That might be the second part of a comment that you left, but I just heard, so that's why you married him. Exactly. So like the height distribution genuinely is unequal, right? If you look at sports playing ability, it's horrifically unequally distributed. Like people who are, okay, let's place down a Netherrack box right over here. If you look at the like skill of sports players, horrifically, you know, like the fact that Olympians are the best in the world and only like a certain number of people can even attempt to be them is an equal distribution. Attractiveness, for instance, like we value, again, as society on average, not everyone should, and it's a whole problem, but we know we value people, you know, people on their attractiveness, and some people are just naturally, because you can work on your attractiveness, especially if you're a woman. Like there's way more options available, whereas if you're a guy, you just kind of have what you have and kind of deal with it. But like, okay, so like that attractiveness is unequally distributed as well. And I'm not trying to say like, oh yeah, everything's fine because we have more in equal forms. It's trying to say that like, this is it's not as, at the very least, it's bad and it's not good, and yeah, you can fight for it. But I think trying to fight for absoluteness of it is like fundamentally not human. Although maybe we shouldn't have human systems. I think it's crazy. By the way, all men are kings, all women are queens, especially 4'7" men and 6'10" women. You know what? I'm glad someone says it. Also, Eva Lab, thank you for becoming a member. Really appreciate it. I missed the thing, and I can't believe I didn't even pay enough attention to Pig Step there. Being good at sports is not human right, while the ability to eat is. See, right, then the unequal distribution is of food, right? Then that's what you're really saying right there. And it's like, I agree, we should. Like, for instance, like, you know, schools giving children food, like, seems pretty logical. Like, yeah, why isn't that a thing? Why, you know, like, it's a thing that I want to say, like, the idea of, like, feeding children at school, like, having cafeterias and stuff is, like, an idea from the 40s or something. And it's remained in place. I don't know how it works in America. For sure, sucks probably if you are there, but over here we're like, yeah, actually, and you know, like you get them for free if you're a certain blah 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 blah. Like we have a trillion different ways to fix the problems themselves, but I'm not convinced that But if you want to look at just like absolute raw money amounts, etc., it's like, well, you're talking about all the trillion underlying issues in a society that can never be fully corrected for. You gotta pick the issue and then correct that issue. But yeah, I totally agree that like we should spend more time being like, yeah, let's not bring people down. Let's lift people up. Especially the 6'10" women. I would love to see someone who, in real life who is like 7 foot. Like I don't think I think the tallest I've ever seen is like 6.5 maybe, and even then it's like, wow, that's tall. Because I never understood height. I know this is the dumbest thing to say, but I'm sorry. I'm gonna say it anyway, internet. Also, I flew all the way here to go to sleep, even though I have a bed out there. That's how smart I am, chat. But I never used to understand height numbers because like people obsess over like a few, like 5'5" and 5'6" fundamentally are pretty similar heights. 5'11" and 6 foot are fundamentally 1 inch apart. But like we have like societal assumptions about them, kind of like like with money it's the same thing. But like even though money is pretty linear, money's the most potable thing. 1 pound is always half of 2 pounds. Whereas you could argue that every inch is not created equally. Like after you get to 4 foot, every inch counts a lot more than the first 4 feet. Like if you're 3'11" or 4 foot, no one's gonna notice a difference or care too much. If you're 4'11" or 5 foot, actually a big deal. 5'11" or 6 foot, apparently a big enough a deal to, like for a lot of people because of the arbitrary threshold that you passed, right? Yeah, I think that I think that because of that like arbitrary threshold, it means that even the most potable, even the most like convertible and like measurable of things can be, even those most direct of things can be like, oh yeah, even then, the difference between earning, for instance, like 99,999 pounds or dollars in a year and earning 100,000 6 figures, 7 figures. 999,000 versus a million, or even like like there's I've seen this. I didn't believe this until like for the first time someone said it, but like, oh yeah, people who earn slightly above minimum wage are like, yeah, I don't want the minimum wage higher because like then I'd be earning the same as the people on the minimum wage, etc. Like there are certain like mental thresholds. It's the thing I was talking about with friction yesterday with friction. Like there's a better job out there for you than you have right now. There's a better house out there for you than you have right now, and that job wants you more, and you want that job wants you, but yet it's not happening because of like friction, this human thing. We have so many like psychological barriers in there. Also, making yourself prettier isn't obligatory, even though society tells people it is. I don't wear makeup usually, but when I do, every girl asks me why I won't wear it every day. I refuse to need makeup. Yeah, even though I think makeup's great. It makes I understand like why people ask it. I'm totally on the board of like I'm terrified of needing something to survive. Like I don't know. There's a lot of things people are like fine to like incorporate into their life, but like if, for instance, if I start shop like I shop I mostly do shopping at Aldi. Sometimes Tesco because they've got a larger selection, but like there's really fancy stores that exist. I'm sure it's the same in America, right? Like Whole Foods is more expensive than Target or whatever else. But if I do all my shopping at like one of those things, and I get used to their standard, and then I have less money and go back down, it's like ooh, this like feels worse. I don't want to be used to it. I want it to be like good. I want it to be nice. 6 figures is anywhere from 100k to 999k. No, the only reason you describe it as 6 figures is if you're really close to the lower end of it, but you want people to think that it's anywhere from 100k to 990k. Also, normalize men using makeup. I think, honestly, I do think over the last few years it's become normal, right? Like I've never heard anyone, like obviously like there's like some proportion of society that's not on board with that because society moves at different paces. And it's hard to expect it all to move at the same pace all the time. But I think it is pretty widely accepted, right? By the way, someone said like, oh yeah, you need money to survive, and surviving's a human right, therefore equal distribution of money. But like most money isn't used to survive, right? The difference between shopping at Aldi and shopping at Whole Foods, the difference between shopping at Tesco and shopping at Sainsbury's isn't survival. It's like nice. This is something I find like I've been mentally struggling with what it means. That like, for instance, eating food is a necessity to be alive. But when I eat food not only to stay alive, like most of the food I eat isn't stay alive. Like I'm never so hungry I'm going to die, or even so hungry that like I'm not even so hungry most of the time. I was really hungry when I ate today, when I ate Nando's, by the way. Like I spent £7 something on some chicken. No wait, I think it was like 10 after sides. So I spent £10 on some chicken today, and some chips and some rice. It's a weird meal when you describe it that way, actually. But chips as in British chips, by the way. As in fries. I'm from America, and I call chips potato chips for some reason. I don't know what my accent became, but it's a problem. Y'all need to understand that in the UK, they call them chips instead of fries. Fries is a type of chip. Chips are the overarching concept. I shop where the good free from foods are. Is that... I actually wonder which store probably has the best of those. I guess if you need to shop in all the, like, minus the milk, the cheese, the whatever, and it's all good. But yeah, no, the thing, for instance, is like... So, like, that's why I'm saying, like, you need to have everyone have a minimum amount. That's what I'm trying to say, like, it's all about, like, trying to describe your problem accurately, because it's easier to fix a small, important problem than to be like, oh yeah, we just need to fix the entire monetary system by which all the things are delivered. And because even if you can pull that off, it's like, you know, even if you take all the money in the world right now, equally distribute it between people, and you know, I think, wait, actually, what is the world wealth? The amount of wealth in the world is 360 trillion. 360 trillion divided by 7 billion is $51,428. So chat, if you have less than $51,428, and we did a perfect wealth division, right? We could give everyone $51,000. That's actually like surprisingly, like it's both high and low, because like it's low if you think Western countries, low if you don't think. But anyway, so anyway, if you divide it by that many people, actually there's more like 8 billion people in the world right now. Let's just do that. So 45,000 is how much you get. So $45,000 to keep things simple. So that's what you could do, right? But even if you divided that right now, which is again ignoring the impossibilities of trying to take all of that wealth, because it's not all potable. A lot of it is in assets which you can't divide. Like if a house is worth $1 million and you want to give it equally between people, do you give it to 20 people? What if it's a 2-bedroom house? How do you let 20 people live in it and then they don't get any money? No one's going to pick that. So ignoring, and you can't sell the house because we were out to divide it all up. But like if you magically do that, we're ignoring those issues because that's fun. It's like, okay, so there's 360 trillion in the world. Everyone gets 40,000. The problem then is like, even if you could pull that off, you then have to deal with the fact that because people have different ability levels, people have different attractiveness levels, people have different all these different things. It's like, okay, so the moment someone makes a exchange, like, oh yeah, so I have $50,000, so do you. How about I live in your house and you know, I sell my one, and now like I live in half a house, but I give you some money. Now I'm like, okay, that's rent and landlordism is gone too. Okay, sure. It's like a guy's like, oh yeah, I drew this really nice painting. Would you like it? I'll give it to you for $100. Whereas the less talented artist is like, oh, I drew this thing on a napkin. It sucks. Will you buy it for $6? Now there's wealth disparity based on skill. For example, it's like, okay, so instead what you should do, instead of aiming for a world like that, because it fixes itself near instantly, because it got to if a world can get to itself because of the inherent inequalities in the world, you can't fix the problem. You can't fix the result right before you fix the cause. So instead it's like, okay, what is the actual cause you want to fix? It's like, oh yeah, people need to be able to eat. And it's like, okay, so there should be there should be places where you can get free food if you need it. There should be places where, especially children, the most vulnerable, can get food. And it's like, actually, you know, society has those. I think I only learned that they exist in America too recently. They're called pantries, right? Someone can shout me out on that one, right? But it's like, oh yeah, that exists. There is like most people don't know about it, and then it's like, oh, so we should raise awareness about these places, raise some money so they can get more food, and put more food in them. Okay, there we go. And then it's like, okay, but people shouldn't be reliant on a private organization for it. And it's like, well, but then they can serve their community best. It's not some. But then it's like, okay, no, we're gonna have to. Then it's like, okay, well then that's the problem you've got.
I'm excited I can watch you live on my night off. Here's some money.
Thank you so much, Michelle Oo. Happy Thursday night off. I wonder why Thursday is your night off. I wonder what job. I always assume in my head, like, I guess details about people. And, like, my guess based on your name is, like, you're not gotta be a teacher. But teachers wouldn't have a Thursday night off. So you work in a nuclear power plant is my new explanation. You're a power plant worker. Food banks are indeed a thing. See, I find food banks to be, like, interesting, right? It's called a food bank in the UK. A food bank is a thing. But it's sad. You put your money in a food bank and you don't get it back later with interest. Like, I figure, like, okay, I've got some chicken going out of date. I'll throw the chicken in the food bank now. And then in 2 years' time, I can get a chicken and a half back. It doesn't work that way. I actually, genuine idea. I know this sounds sarcastic. I would love an idea for that to exist. Like, because so much food expires that people don't eat because it's like, oh, I thought I'd eat it and then I didn't. And, like, it's too hard to get rid of food by the time you know that you're not going to use it. So I think what would be genius is if you had perhaps a system where, okay, this is going to 85, which is up here. Here's my genius idea, right? I think that, like, if you've got food that's about to go off, you give it to a place, and then they'll give you, like, I don't know, they'll give it to someone who, and then you can go there to get half-price food, and then later, you can go and get like a voucher to get more food. Like, I don't know, like, it could be a place where you put your bad food, and then you get other people's food. Although people don't trust food that comes from strangers, so that's a problem. I learned a really interesting story this last week. I want to show you it all, because you won't believe me if I tell you that there was a new apple variety discovered in the UK recently. Food expired, get a sister. Hey. I see sibling rivalries going on here. Also, I'm glad people are liking my little fun project here. I like how this is looking. I think we've made some fun progress. I think this cave is going to give me issues, though. Should we just block it up, pretend there's no cave? It's not a particularly big cave. Oh, but it does connect two different parts, and I kind of like that. Maybe I should mostly block it up and, like, leave little slits in here. Yeah, that way. I mean, I'll do that later. For now, we can just, like, block up at the inside, and then come back later and fix it. Michelle,
Fun fact, my household income relies solely on the generosity of strangers, aka I work in a restaurant in America and survive off tips.
See, right? Okay, wait. Michelle Owa. So depending on your state, depending on your rules, like, that can be hugely different. I want to know if you agree with this feeling. That, like, being a waiter, waitress, staff, server, sorry, that's the term you used. I always forget that in America they call it server, which is, like, interesting to me. But, like, anyway, so, I need to more Netherrack this cave. I want to know your, like, every time I talk about this, people are like, again, tipping is such an impassioned debate, and I agree with it. Like, it's hard to get real data, because people want to make it either look really good or really bad. No one wants to just, like, say how it is and then work from there, which is way more important, like, in my opinion. So do you think that people who work in, like, crazy high, like, like, what's the nicest place I've ever been? Like a steakhouse, but not even like just a steakhouse, an expensive steakhouse where a steak would cost like $100 or something. Do you think waiters there are like, do you think that's like a great job, like a job that you want to have, like maybe even for a lifetime because of how much well it will pay? Or do you think that the places that have, because people tip in America by percentages, so every tip, if you get a steak that costs $100, is $20 minimum, right? Because people take 20%, and then like if there's 3 people there, that's $60 for a table. Plus they order some drinks. The drinks are like, the more expensive the food is at a place, the more expensive the drinks are, because the drinks are where the money's made. Blah blah blah. So it's like, okay, if at a place where the food is that expensive, do people have to? Is it like a really looked after job, or is it one of those things where like, because where you have to like tip share because you earn so much that they think that they should take some of it from you? Like, that's what I want to know. Like, I know you probably don't work in an expensive steakhouse, but like, what's your impression of it from the ground? That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know. We say waiter. Is it one of those, I know that one of the things I learned recently is that actor is now the unisex term. Like, they removed actress as vernacular, which seems interesting to me. Like, it's a bizarre flip off, I don't know, we have a lot of, like, people always like to be like, yeah, progress be good. And I agree, like, I'm not against that anyway. But also sometimes you look at stuff and you're like, oh, if progress can be, if this is what we call progress, then I'm worried about, is this like, was that the most pressing issue? Like, was it really? Was that the point we had to deal with? Although, like, I think in reality, like, the bigger winners aren't like actresses being called actors. It's like how to deal with, I don't know, like non-binary things or whatever. It's like, was that the big winner? Netherrack used to look so bad. Oh, look like blood, says Bit Slain. Can someone tell me this? Why is the Netherrack's called Netherrack? Because I always thought it was Netherrock, but it's not. Okay, Foster says most high-end waiters cannot afford to eat the place they work. See, right, but Foster, without offense, I assume that you're not a waiter. I assume that because of your beliefs, and in the same way, like, you know what? What's something I really want to believe? I want to believe that Bedrock Minecraft is great. So when something really cool happens for Bedrock, I'll probably it's like more infused in my mind because I've got like that predisposed bias that like, yeah, this is cool. Same thing with the console editions back in the day. Like, I'm predisposed to prefer Minecraft, so like when Turkey bans Minecraft, I'm not thinking like, well, maybe it's a reasonable decision. I'm like, no. Why'd you ban Minecraft, you monsters? This is one of my favorite games. No, this is my favorite game. Let's not even be around the bush on that. And so in the same way, it's like, if you hear information that's like, oh yeah, but it's like, where do you hear that from? there's without, there's so much data out there that is just put by people trying to say, like, one of my least favorite examples is people being like, oh yeah, in the UK we have national healthcare. It's all paid for via taxes. So when you want healthcare, you don't think to yourself, oh god, how much is it going to cost me? You just go in there. It's done. It's paid. You paid for it already. A national health insurance, perhaps you could call it. Anyway, so people say like, oh yeah, when it's bad, it's just because people are trying to make it bad so they can get rid of it. Aha! I've got that's my answer. Anything that I like that is bad is because they're trying to make it bad. Anything that I dislike that's bad is proof that that it's terrible. And it's like, well, that's gotta have a consistent viewpoint or whatever. Thank God, because my condition would cost so much. Yeah, I totally think that one of the forms of inequality is like health inequality, in the sense that like you can be randomly born with so many things that are just like, game over. And like obviously like you'll get treatment for them. But it's like, it seems like that seems like one of the closest things to random we have. Like until it can be made, if something is random and can't, like, personal decisions are great when people know they're making decisions. But like if, like, for instance, if you have a colorblind child, it's because you have a colorblind gene and you passed it down. It's like a fun fact. Do you know women don't usually display colorblindness? It's like it's mostly men. It's like only 1% of women who have the colorblindness trait actually even know they're colorblind. I don't know. I wish I knew why that was, but men do. But it means that you can actually pretty actively trace where the colorblindness came from, and the person will be like, oh, turns out I'm colorblind. Didn't notice my whole life. Because like colors aren't something you get to really talk about so often. Also, I work for a fairly expensive store and I can't afford to eat here. I drive to another town to buy my groceries. See, but okay, first of all, I think like, technically speaking, anyone can afford to eat anywhere. It's just how much and at what caliber, right? Like anyone can afford to eat better and more at McDonald's than at steakhouse. Even the CEO of the steakhouse. Do steakhouses have CEOs? I guess there must be some publicly listed ones. Can I buy shares in like, I don't know, Roof Chris's. I like Morton's more actually. Morton's share price. Can you buy Morton's? Morton's restaurant groups. You can, in fact. They're at €1.38. I can buy a share for $1.40. And how many shares are there? The market cap's 25 million euros. This must be something else. This can't be the steakhouse. Anyway, so I could be the owner. I could own all the shares of this business. It could be my business, and I could, you know, like 25 million. How much is a 250 euro dinner or dollar dinner? It's a lot of money. You know what's cheaper? $2.50 of the dollar menu. My grandpa just called. Do you have a grandpa, or did you ever know one? I'm very lucky to have one. Oh yeah, I have well, on one side I think my granddad's been dead forever. Like don't think he was ever alive. And on the other side, I've got a granddad who, like, in my mind is never gonna die. I think that's gonna be like the first relative that dies where I'm actually gonna be like, oh, this actually affects me. Which is why we believe he lives forever, and it's not a problem. Yeah, like I've never had like a personal death close to me. I'm hoping I have like one where I like secretly wish the person was dead first, rather than like someone actually, there's a lot of people where you're like, if they died, that'd be fine, right? No, not about your own relatives, but like, about like extended relatives, where it's like, oh, they died, wouldn't have noticed for a year. My granny shot me yesterday because I was up too late. I'm 31. I love that story, Cat. I love that story. It's because the gene code for colorblindness is on the X chromosome. So if a woman has one X, that colorblind gene, she has the other X that doesn't. Men have XY, so it's more likely. Oh, that's pretty cool. Thank you, Kyle. I appreciate that as an explanation. People in chat want you to say uwu, and it's getting violent in chat, so I thought I'd do this. Uwu. There you go. I did it. For you. I hope you're proud. So yeah, it's because of the XY thing apparently. So that's why. So for instance, if you are colorblind, you can make an argument that it's like you should have traced back your family better, and that's like personal responsibility on your parents' behalf. Should you be responsible if they don't get treatment because they can't afford it? That's the problem. Like society, like for personal responsibility to work, children kind of become a problem because like your parents made a personal decision to have a child despite the fact that they couldn't, and then it's like, well, but what now? The child exists. You can't say the child should die because the parents made a mistake. Or like, I mean, that's what we did for a lot of history, but that's like, it's not generally seen as a good solution in the modern age. And another example is like, okay, so they have, even if like we can argue that like your parents giving birth, even though one of them had the genes that could give you Crohn's or cystic fibrosis or all the other diseases that basically just mess you up. It's like, well, that's they rolled some dice and they rolled the dice badly. You shouldn't be on the hook. In the same way that you're on the hook for like your parents' debts if they die or whatever. Although they're on the hook for your debts if you die, I think. I don't think you can have debts as a child actually. But my way of donating is leaving the stream every 5 minutes and coming back to watch the ads, says Peter. Thank you very much for your heroic effort. I think that's cool. I appreciate it. I'll let you continue. I think that I wonder how that like affects the watch time though. I always think about a lot of things like on a YouTube video, the best way to watch it is like all in one sitting, so that YouTube says, wow, this person liked the video. 10 minutes much? That means it must be good. Etc. etc. One second, I'm getting a lot of messages. Got to check that something important hasn't happened. Okay, we're all good. I've got an eye appointment tomorrow. I'm excited. The thing is that you don't know you're colorblind till a doctor diagnoses you, or you talk about colors a lot. Yeah, that's the thing. A lot of people don't know they're colorblind because it doesn't. We don't talk about colors very often. Like this is green. This is red. This diamond sword is like a light blue. Did you know I'm mildly, like, I don't know why. I think this is eye damage. This isn't the chromosome thing. I have eye damage in one of my eyes. So that I don't know what it is. I'm just assuming it's eye damage. But I see different colors in each eyes. Very slightly different, like let me find something around that I can show you all and you can like verify. Actually, I think my skin tone. Yeah, my skin tone is very slightly different depending on which eye I look at. It's like very slightly more. It's like white. Wait, can you see my arm? You can. Okay. This arm right here. By the way, look at my Fitbit. Look how rich and wealthy I must be to have a smartwatch, huh? My skin tone right here is like more white in one eye and more orange in the other. And it's weird because if I have both eyes open, like both colors make sense at the same time. It's wacky. I get so thirsty during these live streams because I talk so much. I wonder if talking is exercise. Wait, I'll use my smartwatch TM and see what my heart rate is. Just from talking. So my heart rate right now is 96 beats per minute. And 60 is my resting. So talking is about 35 beats per minute. Probably. Is that good? That doesn't seem good. Maybe I'm just nervous. I don't like talking to strangers on the internet. But yeah, like it's something. It's really small, and it's like I didn't notice until I was like 10, and maybe it's a thing. Smooth attempt to drink your drink. You're welcome. So you have 3D glasses installed in your eyes. Cool. I miss those 3D glasses. Minecraft Java has like a 3D mode that's like that, and I think it's the weirdest thing that they added. They might have even removed it by now because it's so dumb. But yeah, so you know, the genes for color blindness is the same for genes for a lot of diseases, but like there's nothing more closely correlated to a lottery than what diseases you happen to be born with, right? Because if you like, again, if you break your arm, technically on you. If you're born without an arm, not really your fault, right? Not even really your parents' fault. It's just the universe. And like, is fixing the unfairness of the universe a good goal to have for our institutions? I genuinely don't know, but it seems like you know, like that's a much better place to start than trying to be like, well, could the French Revolution be avoided? Instead of saying let them eat cake, they said let them eat poop. This ain't even $1 T_T. So 50 ARS, which I don't actually know off the top of my head what currency that is worth less than $1. That is fascinating. See, it's weird. Super chats are weird because clearly it's meant to be based on like absolute amounts, but like
I don't know anyone who enjoys being a server, but I think tips incentivize a server to try harder. I'd imagine an hourly pay would also encourage overworking of employees.
Overworking. I don't know why I enjoy that so much. But yeah, that's the I honestly do think like if almost any like customer facing employee, in theory, like there's like a real benefit to being like, here is X amount minimum plus then here is money for tip stuff. Because like hypothetically, I don't have any employees that like I pay on a per hour basis because like people do work for me and they're paid for that amount of work. It's a weird thing that like I'm glad I am allowed to do because like obviously business contracting, etc. But it's like paying someone an hourly wage to just do stuff. Like imagine how terrifying it must be to be like, oh yeah, for every hour you don't give this person a thing to do, you're losing, what is the minimum wage, like $7? And you're probably paying someone more than $70 because that's the minimum. It's like you lose $7 every hour you don't have a task for this person. If you can, instead of getting 2 people, you can get 1 person to do a thing, you can save $7 now. Like the incentives are there, like, oh, yeah, that's moderately worrying. But yeah, thank you for the take, Michelle. I don't like any level of like every level of this debate just ends with like the, you know, do you argue about what would a perfect world look like, and then it's like, well, then a perfect world will allow you to do whatever you want all the time and blah 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 blah, and therefore there wouldn't need to be waiters because no one would want to be a waiter unless maybe some people would want to be. I'm not sure. Actually, no, I feel like yeah, some people would want to be, but like not enough people, and then blah 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 blah. Well, then if we skip past all of that and go like, okay, so if you're gonna have some system, is the one that allows the best people at the job to be paid more better than one that pays everyone a flat amount? And then it's like, actually, I don't know. I genuinely don't know what is preferable in that particular case. By the way, I really underestimated how much Netherrack this mountain would take. It's a fun project so far, though. The top of Meat Fortress could have a pool. Oh wait, it's gonna text to speech. Never mind. But no, thank you very much, Michelle Owo. I've always heard Like, because my mother was a waitress, so like she always tipped people, even in the UK where tipping's kind of rare. Like she tips a lot of professions that confuse me. So one of I always I learned earlier that, like, people who are paid on tips generally tip well. And first of all, I like that you're first of all proving the stereotype, but secondly, it's I hope it goes well, and also let's call that falls onto you. It's fun to show because it shows that, like, people genuinely are very empathetic when they understand it, and like it's not that it's a fun reminder that, like, the world isn't filled with people who are just trying to get you. Like, people.
The top of White Meat Mountain could have a pool of lava with a mini nether fortress in it. That'd be cool.
First of all, I honestly, like, if there was a meat block in Minecraft, making a meat mountain, first of all, sounds like a terrible name for something else. But second of all, so Cat, you should cover the walls of the caves in the mountain of Netherrack and put glowstone to light it all up. That's actually a cool idea. I think I should like open them up after this and totally do that. Okay, let's break this. We're gonna place the last of the Netherrack down, and then we're gonna be good. What is your dream job? Says Eaton's junk drawer. Honestly, maybe this is like just the fact that I do a job I enjoy, so I'm like, oh, it's the best job. And like, I'm always reminded that there are some number of people for whom this is the job, for this is their dream job they'd give anything for. So because I'm reminded of that, I think I'm like more, I guess I'm more grateful because I see that so often. And maybe I'm like blinded by my gratefulness, which is it's not a sentence you get to say very often, but it genuinely might be a bias that affects me here. But I think this is definitely like very high on my list of like dream jobs, because I feel like there's something I didn't appreciate in the early days so much. Like I knew it was a thing, but I didn't appreciate, like, I thought it was a bonus. I didn't think it was like one of the greatest things about it. Is I can make a genuine difference to people's days. Like when Gregory Ditch said, see, whoa, oh my god, this is perfect timing. So Gregory Ditch, this is my exact point. Gregory Didrich says, I started watching your streams and updated Let's Play World as a podcast at work, and it's made it much more tolerable. So thanks. So like, great, like the fact that people enjoy like listening to these like unlisted live streams, I'm doing right this very moment and technically getting paid for because Gregory Didrich just tipped. And that's really nice of him. But like, the fact that I'm not only doing something I enjoy, I'm not only doing something where I'm paid based on performance, which is something I value, because I like to do better at what I'm doing, and I like to have metrics to show that I'm doing better today than I was doing yesterday, or at least that I try to. At least, I try to do better today than I did yesterday. That's my goal for anything in life, but my job is one of the few things I can measure that is actively happening, usually. But also, it's like I think it's so cool to make a difference to anyone's life. I don't want to directly talk to anyone, help with their lives, because that just doesn't work. I'd rather die than have a conversation with anyone, even to save their life, But I mean, I would have a conversation. I have conversations with strangers all the time, and like sometimes it's fun, and sometimes it takes up like that was enough socializing for today. We're gonna not do that again anytime too soon. Man, I missed the spot over there. That's gonna be a real pain to get to. But IBX Toycat, have you ever questioned yourself that you may have some sort of mental illness? Not being rude, I question myself sometimes. Whoa, it's me in chat. See, by the way, look, that's me in chat, but it's not me. Do you see how you can tell that? There's no tick. So you know that it's like, it's the whole thing. Anyway, so fun fact, if you're born with female reproductive organs that have some form of deformity, there's a chance your kidneys have issues as both organs are formed at the same time in the fetus. See, that is a fun fact, Corster. You make my workday much better, still working from home since the pandemic started. And that's awesome, McBella. Like, I enjoy that. That's one of the parts that I love. Because it means that when I feel doubt about things and I'm like, it's hard, it's easy to feel those moments. There's like this genuine measurable like thing that's like, no, you do exist and people value that. If I die in a house fire tomorrow, people would be sad. A non-insignificant number of people. And that's cool. I like that people don't want me to be in a house fire tomorrow. That's a underappreciated fact. I have a 20-second conversation with a driving person at Taco Bell, and that's enough socialization for like a week, says Lou. Right? Like, the whole, even the most basic niceties, it's like, oh no. This is not again. Not again. I totally feel you. I totally feel you. Okay, we got 2 more stacks of Netherrack till the stream ends. We're gonna make them last. We're gonna make sure they last. You make things better in my life. Also, wet meat. Thank you. Also, rack is an Old English word meaning destruction or wetch. It comes up not uncommonly in Old Lit that features in hell like Dante's Inferno. Well, there's a fun fact for me. Also, this is spawning a lot of mobs because it's dark. Was that a pillager right there, actually? It might have been. Should we start a pillager raid? We should start a pillager raid. But thank you very much, Fusion Warrior. I appreciate it. I think there's a... It's hard not to want that from a thing. So yeah, I like that. I feel good with what I'm doing. I had a genuine conversation, not conversation. I had a genuine like thought train of like, you know, if I want to switch to something, now's the time. And I was like, I don't know that I do. Like, it feels like YouTube isn't a thing that I do for a lifetime. And I definitely think there'll be changes in the next 10 years, so I'm doing something else. And I hope that wherever I go, you'd be willing to join me on that new platform, internet. But for now, at least, I have a good time. I do a fun thing. And I think that's cool. Also, the mental illness thing, like, I think that everyone on some level has... Like, everyone is mentally deficient in some area. Everyone is, and like, you know, like, we have certain mental illnesses that we describe as personality traits. Like, oh, I'm just so OCD, I'm just so ADD. And it's like, well, you're not, because those are full-on mental illnesses. I'm just a little bit sociopathic, you know, it's a normal thing. It's like, oh, I don't know, let's... So I think we have lots of mental... I think under that definition, like, yeah, for sure. Like, probably got a lot in common with people who say they have ADD in terms of, like, I focus so hard on a project until I hate the thing and I want to never see it again. And the shift happens so rapidly, it's confusing to... Okay, can we jump and get those? I think we can. Damn it, we can't. Okay, you know what? We'll just place it up there. It's close enough to right anyway. Then we'll do the same for that block. Nope, we got to get even higher for that block. So we have to place a block over here. And then jump, and then... Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. I just want to... Okay, we're going to have to, like, slide jump. You know, I give up. No, it's done. I guess we get a little bit more live stream this way. That's the one benefit. I give you Toy Cat, but yes, raid. Do we want a raid, though? Do we want the raid? Actually, I guess there wasn't a raid. Or he despawned. One of those two things. Anyway, so to finish up, to conclude, I think that this project's been fun. I like working on Minecraft stuff, and I like that people are excited to see that. I think I've gotten semi-good at what I do. No, I don't think I'm great. But, I have now placed all the Netherrack. And, yeah, I'm really excited that people like to see my world. Honestly, one of the things that I like about YouTube is, like, showing off a thing I did in Minecraft. And as dumb as this was to spend 2 hours working on this, for instance, I like that we did. And I'm looking forward to doing more of this in the future. Obviously, I've got to fill up a lot more of these shulker boxes before then. And believe me, I will. We might have to do a mining Netherrack stream soon. Because I've got to work on that nether pathway anyway. Also, I've got so many Netherrack blocks just on the ground in my nether, which is weird to say, but it's true. Because I mined them and then I left them because my inventory is full. So yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to go fill some Netherrack boxes in a nearby live stream. But also, if you want to see me come live stream Minecraft, it's Streammas. This was day 3. And I'll see you for day 4. Which, surprise, surprise, is the day after day 3. Which, you know, it's tomorrow, okay? I'll see you tomorrow. Have a nice day, everyone. Oh, tomorrow is the launch of something really cool. If there's one thing you buy at Christmas, I hope it's the thing I'm announcing tomorrow. It's the cutest thing. Like I can't. It's the coolest. It's the most. It's a product I'm excited to. I was so excited to own. I didn't believe it was as cool as it looked, and then it is a thing. I just got it today, but I'm not meant to officially say anything till tomorrow. But there's my little sneak peek. I hope you're excited. If there's one thing you want to do to help me out, it's to check that thing out. So thank you for watching. I hope you have a nice day, and I'll see you for tomorrow's live stream, which is tomorrow at this time. Set an alarm for 22 hours. 22 hours from now. 22 hours, 22 hours, 22 hours from now is the stream. Oh, my arms still hurt so bad. Oh, and also I'll tweet out how long the stream was in terms of watch hours, because it's really interesting to look at. Okay, goodbye. Oh, my hand hurts. No, wait, I won't tweet it out. I'll put it on YouTube community posts. That's what I'll do.